Yeah. Sometimes it feels like I'm bleeding inside. The feeling takes control of my soul. Too many people have died over money and greed. The seed of evil is lies. Governments cover up deep secrets and spy. You either walk free in the spirit or you stay enslaved. I don't preach it, I take it from the streets to the stage. Like from the beat to the page, I'm trying to breathe through my rage. Too many things in my mind is strange. Sometimes I walk with courage mixed with pain. My vision get blurred. Talk about them ships and things. Killed my tribes, erased my family name. Filled with shame inside, it inflames my eyes. Have you ever seen a king serving them fries? I bear witness, no lies. I've seen it so many.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Elder Rawchaa here of the Gathering of Christ Church, here with our weekly broadcast from the Gathering of Christ Church. I would like to say shalom to my brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. My brothers and sisters on Blog Talk, through the radio, the online radio, and also our brothers and sisters shalom that's here in the chat through Ustream. Of course, we have another impactful broadcast, a discussion. Soon we'll begin to have guests again, but until then, it's best we do our, our optimum to bring the nation together in one spirit under Christ. Hence, the lesson. We went into marriage a few weeks ago, relationships. Soon we're going to do a blog on, or a radio program on being single and finding the truth. What happens when one is single, when you receive the truth, in desire to have a righteous marriage. Okay, there's so many of us operating alone, feeling alone, praying to the Most High for family and a righteous relationship, and are actually holding off from a relationship until we find that special someone. So of course we're going to talk about that quite soon. So we didn't leave you brothers and sisters out who would like to talk about that. All right, but right now we're going right into a lesson off of the back of last week's particular program. And if anyone want to talk about some of what we discussed last week, feel free, because it's all encompassed into really one conversation with gathering the nation of Israel back together. Now that leads to our topic this evening. Okay, now for those who are in the radio, as well as listening on the radio, as well as on the chat. Okay. Okay, Elder Lawya just joined me also. Great. That's great, Lawya. I'll bring you in a moment. For those who would like to get in on the discussion this evening, of course, our phone number, the guest call-in phone number is 515-605-9327. Okay. Now, today we're going to talk about something that's quite deep, titled The Spirit of Discord Amongst Brethren. The spirit of discord. When I say brethren, of course, sisters are included also. But in particular, it's titled The Spirit of Discord Amongst Brethren. Doesn't it seem that coming together in respect of the gospel in Christ, or as Israelites, it's more talk than action, Let me repeat that again. Doesn't it seem that coming together in respect of the gospel, in knowing we're Israel, is more so talk than actual action? Why do we talk against our brethren? I'm going to put this question out there also. Why do we find ourselves talking against our own brethren and sisters and use God as an excuse for sowing discord? We would like to use God as an excuse to why we can talk against others. And I know you all have examples of that, like people, for whatever reason, not giving their full reason for actually going out there and claiming they're helping people by exposing someone, when really there's an underlying offense or error, they're not willing to admit themselves. Right? Why do we talk against our brothers and sisters continually and use God to excuse our own hatred or agendas. And okay, of course, I'm going to chime in on your opinions to this, because we need to know these answers. We need to get to the bottom of these divisions that are within our nation. No longer are we just talking about what white people are doing to us and how they are destroying us. We're doing a good enough job of destroying each other without the white man. So let's get to the bottom of these issues, right? What can we do to avoid backbiting and ultimately overcome the spirit of divisiveness? Okay, here's the points we're touching on. Number one, doesn't it seem that coming together in respect of the Most High in Christ in the Bible, that it's more talk than action? Two, why do we talk against our brethren and continually use God as an excuse for our own divisive agendas? Number three, what can we do to avoid backbiting and ultimately overcome the spirit of divisiveness? Okay, now let me use an example of why I'm going into some of this, and then I'm going to go into a few scriptures, and of course I'm going to bring in the elders to hear what they would like to say concerning these particular bullet points. This is what I find in certain scenarios where people feel a certain type of way or are feeling a need to sow discord or say something that will lead to, being enemies, us being enemies on either side. Usually when you get to the bottom of it, after initially having a discussion, finally having a discussion, you find that the issues that was brought out wasn't really the issue that led to them actually coming forth claiming there was issues. It's usually something else that they never talked about. When you finally get an opportunity to speak to a brother or sister, like an example I can give you, like in a relationship, and I know I'm gonna use it as an example because most of us have been in them. Do you notice that sometimes in a relationship, when there's a variance there, or there's attitudes in the house between husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, or whatever the case might be, and when you finally say, well, listen, we have to talk this out, all the acting out and all those are layers, but then you find the real issue that the person never discussed. That it was something that happened, they were offended weeks ago concerning something they've never spoke to you about. But in reaction to that, all these other issues became the discussion. When really the root issue, the seed that was sowed that led to the divisiveness, was never brought forth to be resolved. Have you ever experienced that? Well, I'm doing all this because this happened to me. The thing you never discussed. So a seed was sown there. But yet all these other underlying layers you must tear down just to get to the root issue and resolve the issue and be one again. Well, I find it's not just like that in relationships. It's like that in almost everything when it comes to our nation being divided. Like, we'll find different excuses to say, this is why I can't be a brother or sister to this person. And you'll put out an excuse that most people can agree with, when really that's not the core reason you feel a certain type of way. Why can't we get to the core and say, well, this is the reason why I don't like you, or I'm feeling a certain type of way about you? And what we find 90% of the time, that issue that they were hiding or they didn't want to talk about, they were in the wrong concerning it. That's why they didn't bring it out. It's simple to bring something forth when you're in the right. But it's another thing when you know you're wrong, but you want your way. And if you can't get your way, then the divisiveness and all the other things come in. And then you're claiming, well, this is wrong and that's wrong. And then we get down to the layer, get to the point, you were in the wrong. I noticed that in the spirit of discord, sowing discord amongst brethren. But we're going to come with a solution today. Solutions according to the Most High in the Bible. So I would like to first start off with seeds. When I mention seeds, the seeds that Christ was talking about, right? Where when we all initially get the truth, there's a certain level of what you would call dedication and appreciation for the word. We're stimulated with purity with that seed of Christ that usually comes in us. We want everyone to experience what we, this awakening, this enlightenment, right? Everyone receives the same seed, but something happens when a disagreement comes or an offense comes. It's as if Satan is trying to use the current scenario to take away all that great purity and appreciation we received when getting the truth. We forget about all the righteousness and the appreciation and the love of having this truth after so many years being deceived. Right? It's as if Satan wants us to now look at God's people or your brother or sister other than when you first viewed them when we first received the truth. Let me read something real quick. And it's best to examine ourselves, because I think one of the hardest things for us to do is to admit, you know what? I'm wrong. And even if I'm dead right, is losing my brothers and sisters or my family worth being right? Am I that selfish that if I'm offended, I'll tear the whole house down? I'll tear my brothers and sisters down. Am I that important? So I want to go into these seeds real quick. And again, any of you at any time can call in and chime in on this particular topic, because we all have actually fell victim to some of Satan's devices. We've all been guilty. Right? So going forward, we have to examine these things, examine that spirit when it comes on us, and admit, which seed am I according to Christ? He put a pure seed in me. Why am I bitter? Why do I lash out at others? Why do I attack my own family? I'm at Matthew 13. The parable of the sower. The same day Christ, Yeshua, some call him Yehoshua, but his name is Yeshua in the Hebrew, which is Savior. The same day went our Savior out of the house and sat by the seaside. And great multitudes were gathered together unto him, so that he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. So Christ was in the water on a ship, docked on a ship, speaking to a multitude, so that you can picture this. That's at a pier or right there on the shore, listening. And he spake many things unto them in parables, examples, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow. A sower is a gardener, someone that tear the ground up and get the ground prepared, put the seed in, water it, so on and so forth. And he spake many things to them in parables, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them, because those seeds can be like food for birds. So if it didn't get in that ground, right? So it was on top of the soil where the birds can go eat it, and right? So that seed never took root because the birds got to it, right? And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. I'm at Matthew 13:5 now. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth. So it really couldn't get down there and get watered, that seed, and begin to grow roots. And forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. Didn't have enough root in that soil to actually become full grown. The 6th verse, Matthew 13:6. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100 and 60 and 30 fold. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. Now, why did Christ say that in parables and say that, and tell our brothers and sisters on the shore, he that have an ear, let him hear? Well, all of us are one of these seeds. That's what he wants you to hear. If you're that last seed, you're going to bring forth fruit for the kingdom of heaven. That's how you know those who are rooted. They are about the Most High's business, and they're bringing forth fruit, right? Now, let me break this down, because some of us publicly don't want to admit which seed are we, but our works show forth who are we, and what did we actually do with that pure seed that Christ gave us when we all received the truth. Let me tell you, brothers and sisters, my receiving the truth is no different than yours. We all receive that same seed equally. Right? So Christ said all these people was at a shore. He wasn't separating them from one from the other. All of them had the same opportunity for his kingdom, that pure seed. Now let me go into the purpose of this parable so that we can begin to resolve these issues of discord amongst us. Matthew 13:10 reads, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest unto them in parables? Why don't you make it plain to them? Tell them, right from wrong. This is right, this is wrong. You want to make it, this is what you need to do. Why are you speaking to them in parables? Christ answered his disciples, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Now just imagine that. The king who will give the crowns are talking to a multitude of people he will die for, knowing that some of them are not fit for the kingdom. All of them heard it. Right? What would they do with that seed? Listen to this. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away even that he hath. Right? So if you have that seed or that talent and it get rooted and you do what Christ say to do with it, that's the person he's going to give his kingdom to. Therefore, speak I to them in parables, because they seeing, see not. They can see, they know it's the truth, but they're walking blind. Listen to this. For seeing, let me read it here. For whosoever hath, to him shall be given. 13. Therefore speak I to them in parables, because they seeing, see not. And hearing, they know the truth. That's what that hearing is. They hear not. Neither do they understand. Now, the why they don't understand is going to come. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which saith, by hearing ye shall hear and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing. They can see and hear, but when it comes to looking and understanding themselves, we as a people are in denial. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which you hear, and have not heard them. Man, look how blessed we are. We're living in the times that the prophets desired to see. They was told that the mark of the beast would come. We're living in the time of the mark of the beast. They told us that the kingdom would come. The Most High showed them. We're living in the time that our Lord and Savior will bring the kingdom. But what's wrong with us? Why are we dull of hearing? Why can't we see? Why can't we do what's right with that seed that was sown? Matthew 13 and 18. Hear ye therefore the parable of the sower. He says, I'm going to break it down to you disciples. Each seed, the number one seed, when anyone heareth the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, that means you're still not sure, you're wavering, or you don't know if what this person is saying is true or that person is saying is true. You're just in the middle with everything. So you don't understand it. You know there's some truth to it, but you're not willing to step all the way over and have faith in what you know is true. That means understandeth it not. You're still wavering. You're not stepping all the way over with it. Then cometh the wicked one, and he catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. So when we waver and go back and forth and don't stand with that truth, Satan is looking to snatch that little bit you believe away from you. That's his objective. Because that seed that Christ gave you from the beginning, that was the seed, that was your ticket into his kingdom, into Christ's kingdom. So if Satan don't take that away, eventually that seed will get some water and begin to grow strong in the word of the Most High. So when you have that initial conviction concerning the truth, and all of us have that same opportunity. We all get that same seed in the beginning. Satan is looking to snatch that first, especially if we are all over the place and are not dedicated. We're not in a place to protect that seed with our lives. We take for granted that we know the truth. Satan is saying, you know what? Let me bring doubt on that little bit that began their walk towards the kingdom. Listen to this. When anyone hear the word of the kingdom and understandeth it not, then cometh the wicked one and catcheth away that which was sown in his heart. This is he that received the seed by the wayside. Ever so often they'll chime in because they know it's truth. They'll try to get a little information, but really they're not growing that seed that leads to you bringing forth fruit for the Most High. So that's the birds come in and get it and it's gone. That seed was sown like when that gardener throw those seeds out there, he know that all of them are not going to take root. Okay. He throw all those seeds out there because he want to harvest, knowing that some seeds are going to go through this. Some seeds are not going to go in the ground. That's why he throws so many. Well, that's all of us as the children of the Most High. All of us have received that seed. But which seed are we? I'm at Matthew 13 and 30 for those who are following me here. And 20. Matthew 13 and 20. But he that receiveth the seed in stony places, the same is he that heareth the word in a nine, and a non, that means immediately, with joy receiveth it. Remember that, y'all? When we all receive that truth, like, I'm going to tell everybody, this is the truth. I'm an Israelite. I'm God's chosen. We all get that jovial, appreciative spirit when we first learn the truth and say, you know what? Now it all makes sense. That's why the other nations are trying to push religions on us. That's why they're focused on dividing us. That's why we've been enslaved and so on and so forth. We are God's people. You know, I remember the first day I received that revelation, that understanding, and it clicked. I was so happy because so many questions were answered. No one could ever tell me why, you know, white people, right? And no disrespect to them, but who are weaker than us, were able to overcome us. As a nation, we're actually physically stronger than them, regardless of their ingenuity and technology and sorcery and, you know, and psychology they use. Okay. All in all, the Most High made us, our physical prowess, stronger by nature. No one could ever resolve that. Like, hold up, these white guys don't even want to walk down the street where I live at. How did they enslave us? Okay. You know why they enslaved us. It was our God that empowered them over us. It wasn't their power. They're not that strong. They're not that great. They're not that smart. Okay. And everything started to make sense. I was energized. I'm like, I know it now. Now all I have to do is follow the commandments and get on this road and do what? Take care of this seed. I'll never forget the first day I received the knowledge of truth. And because I thank the Most High in appreciation for that seed, I will never turn away from his knowledge or truth or his word. regardless of the outcome, regardless of what I may endure. I remember that first day. The Most High answered all my questions. He answered what history couldn't. I was going to take that seed and do what? Nurture it, protect it. I wasn't going to let Satan steal that from me. I can't now just operate after knowing the truth and go celebrate Christmas now and act like I've never received the truth. But so many people who had that same jubilation, that same appreciation, a lot of people who learned the truth, some of them went back to Christianity and are celebrating Christmas. Satan came and stole what was in their heart. That seed wasn't sown in them. They didn't understand. Okay, they didn't know that they needed to protect that. That's why, you know, I'm perplexed at someone who can make, and I'm not making the video about that, but it came to mind while I was talking today, how someone can claim, well, I was once an Israelite, but now I'm a Christian. That's asinine. It's ridiculous. Okay, I used to be an Israelite. What do you mean you used to be an Israelite? Israelite is not a religion. The Most High revealed you. You are a child of prophecy. Okay? He instilled that seed in you and Satan came and stole it because why? One of these issues. One, you didn't really understand it all the way. You didn't understand you had to protect that seed. And then you received it on stony ground. That means you didn't study to make sure that seed was all the way down getting that living water. You left that seed at the top or near on a rock or something. And when the sun came, boy, it blew that seed to dust. And now, okay, I'm not an Israelite. I'm glad I'm not that. I'm a Christian. Okay. Let me tell you, being an Israelite, I don't care what they try to claim. It's not a cult. A cult is a cult. There's religious institutions which are cultish. Okay. Jehovah's Witness, cult. Okay. Straight out. The Christian church, cult. Straight out. All of them. The ones that worship on Sunday that's about to celebrate Christmas, all of them are cults. Israelites that don't believe in Christ and that won't receive the baptism and are just pharisaical, they are cults. Okay, I'm gonna put it straight out there. But some people, they'll say, well, okay, the doctrine wasn't correct in this particular Israelite group or whatever the case is, therefore it was a cult. Well, guess what? The Most High had you receive your seed there. You realized who you were, and because someone did something to you, Satan came in and stole that which was sown. It wasn't those men that sown Christ into you. It was Christ who gave you the knowledge of who you were. But yet because men did something to you, you're going to do what? Not appreciate that seed? You're going to walk away? Well, I have something for you. I'm going to get back on topic, but I have something for you. You cannot walk away. The reality is, there's nowhere to go. Okay? There's nowhere to go. You can stick your head in the sand and think that you never received anything. The prophecies will still unfold. And you will, believe it or not, you will actually deal with the effect of prophecies, whether you're on the right side of them or the judgment side of them. Okay? Let me get back into this. But he that receiveth seed in stony places are the same that heareth the word in anon, that means immediately, with joy receiveth it. Telling everyone you know. Now check this out. Getting back to our topic now. The 21st verse, I find that more people are this seed. Matthew 13 and 21. Yet have he no root in himself, but he endureth for a while, may hang around a year or two or three. Okay. Check this out. Yet have he not root in himself, but endure for a while. For when tribulation or persecution ariseth because of the word, by and by he is offended. Something didn't go right. You didn't like something that happened. All right? You don't agree with something. So now you are so offended, you being like, well, I'm done. Well, done with what? Any branch that cut himself from the tree will wither away. That's where Satan wants you. So he will allow offenses to come. We are still learning as a nation. So there's going to still be some abrasiveness going on, some differences, but we must learn to work together as a nation through it to see the other side. We can't always look at, because it ain't perfect like we thought it would be, as an excuse to now choose the old man or the old world. That's what Satan wants. So this is what happens when we become offended. Right? It's time to expose. We're not going to do what Christ said. If you are offended, go to your brother alone and you have gained them. Or, I love my brothers and sisters to the degree that, you know what? I feel I'm right, but today I'm going to suffer wrongfully for the sake of all of us. Because I don't want to lose my brothers or sisters. We're talking about coming together. But yet, I'm going to let one thing make me view my brothers and sisters differently than Christ is viewing them. So now we're back at square one again. We received our seed for nothing. We're now to ourselves thinking we have the truth, when the truth is in forgiveness. It's in love. It's in long suffering. It's in patience. And when things don't go your way, it's not a reason to become divisive and to become an enemy or to sow discord like a spoiled child. Paul says, when I was a child, I thought of a child. I thought like a child. But when I became a full grown man, I put away childish things. And it's also talking about behavior. Everything is not going to go our way, but we still have to endure each other like the Most High endure us daily. Offended. And usually, it'll be everything except what they did or what we did, quote unquote. Well, I'm not dealing with this no more because this is what this person said or this what this person did. They're totally innocent, absolve themselves of everything. But because I went through something, let me be alone and destitute without my brothers and sisters. That's the answer to this. As if the truth in the word and Christ's work will discontinue without them. We fool ourselves. Listen to this. Matthew 13 and 22. He also that receiveth seed among the thorns is he that heareth the word, and the care of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he become unfruitful. That means this person has a care, know the truth, but has a care concerning the lusts or the riches or some of what this world can offer. So Satan will offer you that even while having the truth. Okay. He'll offer you things to get you off of your what? To get you off of your foundation. And then it'll be about you. Well, and then we'll start making excuses. Well, I got to do this now, or I got to do that now, because, you know, I really want to help the work. There's things I really want to do, when really your heart is being corrupted. And you'll never admit that. So you have to come up with an excuse to be separated, to do your own will. And Satan will offer that to you, even with the truth. And you become unfruitful, and therefore you don't bring those to the Lord. You don't have those works. You don't have those 10s, those 20s, those 30s that Christ was talking about, to show forth that you did what was right with that seed. Listen to this. That means you start caring about other things, saying, well, listen, there's things I got to do. You're not patient. So therefore, Satan start playing on that and give you offers. And what he's offering you is nothing. You're going to look at what you lost and be like, man, how could I have been so played? Matthew 13:33. But he that receiveth the seed into good ground is he that heareth the word and understandeth it, which also bear fruit, and bring forth some 100, some 60, some 30. Right? Why? Because if you are rooted, you understand that our nation is not perfect and there's going to be issues. You endure your brothers and sisters, and you use those moments as teaching moments for each other to grow as a nation. You endure to the end for your family, for this truth. You pick up your cross or your crucifix daily, and you endure the weaknesses of your brother or sisters. They're not perfect. They may not see everything that you see, but they still your brothers, and God, the Most High, still loves them. We're not supposed to take our basketball and go home because things is not working out how we see fit. Christ didn't look at the cross and say, you know what, I'm not going to bear that. And that's why there's so much discord and divisiveness. It's the highest level of selfishness. How can a people in exile and destitute, without nothing, no nation, no land or nothing, be so selfish? How can what we want personally circumvent the cross, the work? Why is there so much discord? Maybe you all can answer it. Elder Lawya, you there with me?
Yes, sir. I'm here. Can
you there?
Hear me?
I'll give Elder Lawya a moment. I'm checking this thing out, and it's a shame. And I almost can't wait till the Most High allow them to bring this new world order to fruition all the way, in which this internet things just come to a head. Okay? Because I see our brothers and sisters wasting precious time and by themselves not growing no work. And I see people out there thinking they're exposing something. They're exposing themselves. They are being exposed. You're not exposing nothing. The workers are in the vineyard doing the work, bringing forth the 20, the 30, the 100, or whatever the case might be. You can't expose workers. When people look, they'll be working. Why are our people so divided? I just showed you. It's that seed. It's not rooted. They're distracted. Elder Lawya, anytime you're ready, just let me know. You can come on in. One moment.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me? Okay, one moment. Yeah, I'm here, Elder. Can you hear me?
All right.
How about now? Can you hear me?
Let me go to the call to the okay, man, we got about an hour and a half to talk about this. The spirit of discord. All right. The spirit of discord amongst brethren. Doesn't it seem that coming together in respect of the gospel is more talk than action? How many people are talking about when we need to come together? Time is drawing near. Why do we talk against our brethren continually and our sisters? Why do we backbite? Why do we come against each other and use God as the excuse for our own divisive agendas against our own people? Well, I'm just trying to, do what's right and just look out for the brothers and sisters just in case there's some evil going on. No, Lawya, I can't hear you. I heard you earlier, but I don't know what's going on. So I heard you earlier, but not now. I don't hear you.
How about now?
Oh, I see you there, but hold on.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Okay, say something now.
Yes, shalom, Elder. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead. The time is yours.
Oh yeah, I'm just going to be brief. Again, a very timely conversation, especially now as we seeing things coming down the pipe. So many things taking place prophetically throughout the four corners of the earth, and it seems like the closer this thing draws near, you would think that it would bring us closer together. But obviously, the closer we get to the time, it's like everyone is being drawn, as it speaks about, I believe, in Haggai. Everyone is spread about in their own houses, or, while the Most High's house lay waste, everyone is trying to gain to themselves, and it's like they're putting money in a pocket or a bag full of holes and are not prospering. And then sometimes we sit back and wonder why. And I think the reason why is based on some of the things you're discussing tonight. We're forgetting that there was a time in which a seed was sown in us, in which we thought that we would die for the truth. But through time, through offense, through tribulation, through persecution, through everything that Christ explained in that parable, we see daily examples. I'm talking about real life examples of people spreading off. I'm pretty sure you can attest to so many times people becoming offended, or they get choked up by the cares of the world, and they say, well, I'm going to go and do this. I'm going to find this outlet to make money for the truth. And either you never hear from them again, or the next time you hear from them, they're worse off than when they were in the truth. You understand? So, There's so many different elements to what you're going into. I just wanted to read one reference, one scripture on it. In the book of Galatians, 5th chapter.
Okay.
Galatians 5:7 says, "Ye did run well. Who did hinder you that ye should not obey the truth?" So it's like we come in running like it's a sprint, not realizing that this walk is a marathon. It's a daily, it's a continual cycle of, endurance. So you did run well. Who did hinder you that you should not obey the truth? This persuasion cometh not of him that calleth you. So as you were mentioning earlier, people try to use the Most High as the excuse as to why they're no longer either in the truth, claiming or considering themselves to be an Israelite, or what have you. People find excuses, and they'll use the Most High as the excuse, not realizing that either it was something that they were offended about, that they didn't address properly, according to Christ, or, again, they were choked up by the cares of the world, or, as Christ said, they never had any root in the first place. It says here in verse 9, "A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. I have confidence in you through the Lord, that you will be none otherwise minded. But he that troubleth you shall bear his judgment, whosoever he be." So I just wanted to read that quick reference for now, and just to add on some of the things you were mentioning. I'm going to, phase out now and continue to, hear some of the things you've been bringing out. Again, very good topic, very timely topic. And I can't wait to hear some of the responses from the brothers and the sisters.
And I'm going to bring them in, but I'm checking this out. People who claim that they're down with the Most High in Christ, right? And just on the back of what you were just saying, Elder Lawya, sometimes brothers and sisters bring things to my attention and say, well, did you see this video or that video? And sometimes, even though I'm working, the majority of time, 99% of the time, I just say, listen, whatever, let them stand in line. Okay, if someone's doing the work, you're going to always have a line of people who are doing nothing trying to speak against the work, right? That comes with the territory. But all in all, sometimes if it's a brother or sister that I know or, I met, you understand, I'll go and listen to what people say sometimes. At least a little bit of it, enough not to get discouraged, okay? And this is what I don't understand. How can people who say they love the Most High and that they are standing for truth and are looking to expose something lie right out, and they know they're lying? It's like, not only do you sow discord, you purposely lie. You understand, not realizing that we will all give an account to the Most High on the day of judgment. Right? And exactly. There's a few tenets that are not taught in our society that I think brothers and sisters should understand. The Bible says, receive not an accusation against an elder unless it be before 2 or more witnesses, because the Most High take that up. Right? Like, for instance, right, I seen a scenario where, and I'm gonna give an example on the outside of our church, right? You had a Facebook thing out there claiming that IUIC last year was auctioning off sisters at the Passover. Now, I don't agree with all of the doctrine of IUIC. Everyone out there know that, because I believe in baptism and all the other tenets that I believe that, if those brothers begin to implement it instead of downplaying it, it's great, because they'll be teaching the ministry of Christ, regardless of if they're walking with the GOCC or not. They're with Christ if they're following the tenets of Christ. But all in all, you had brothers and sisters who called themselves to be Israelites that was out there straight lying on those brothers. They were sending videos out. Right? And no one was auctioning off no sisters there. Now, maybe people believe that their choice in judgment of having that type of platform that day was, a bad idea and poor in taste, but it wasn't against the law. Maybe if they believe that, but to outright say that those brothers was auctioning off sisters, like someone was holding cards saying 25, 25, 25, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 50, 100. You don't understand? So you have some people you understand? You have some people who may disagree with their doctrine or whatever the case is, or have a personal problem with them, to the point where they will lie directly on elders, not realizing that they're going to give an account. So I'm not even going to use our church as an example. I'm going to just show you straight out how people can receive accusations against an elder and think it's okay with a meme or a tweet or whatever the case is to actually smear those that are actually working in the vineyard, when they're doing absolutely nothing but tearing down what others are working to build. And no one is being held accountable. Right? They can just put out anything they want because it's the social media and lie on brothers and think they don't have to give an account. And you want to know why we're divided in discord and all that? Because it'll be what? It'll be something like because you're not with that group or you're with the Gathering of Christ Church, you think you can say something wrong or attack a brother in a different group and put out lies on them because you don't believe in their doctrine. So they'll do that to us. We have people in the congregation who are young or do that to them, not realizing that that's evil, that's wrong, that's divisive. You're not supposed to sow discord amongst brethren. Even if you don't believe everything they don't believe, they're still living. There's an opportunity that they can receive whatever they need to receive. It's not up to you to start smearing people and lying on people because you don't agree with them. You understand? The example, and the example I can give, when other groups started putting things out there against the church that wasn't true, actually using a media circulation that wasn't true about some guy who they claim left the country to follow us and flee somewhere, when a guy was in a hotel around the corner from his mother's house. And you had other groups promoting that so that it can look like the Gathering of Christ Church was a cult. See that? It have to come a time where there's some spiritual accountability, even if we don't, agree with each other on everything. We're still not going to break the laws of God against our brother just because he's in a different group or he's in a different group, because we're all God's children under the law we claim we're now upholding. Right? So I'm just showing you that as an example, and I'm going to put that just beyond titles and lines in churches. We're the Most High's people. And I see some young brothers out there, because you can get a blog or Google this, and they probably wanted attention or whatever the case is, or just be speaking out of their behinds on things, and no one did nothing to them, looking to tear down the same elders who actually gave them the understanding, who labored to give them the understanding, and are still laboring. And you have young people that will show no appreciation for elders who have paved the way for them. There's no honor. That's another reason we stay destitute and low. We don't have to worry about the white man destroying or tearing us down. We do enough of that ourselves. If the white man did nothing at all and left us alone, it would be none of us left. Let's speak some truth, brothers and sisters. Let's talk about it. Receive not an accusation unless it be before 2 or more witnesses. Just because you're not supposed to speak about what you heard. That's evil. We haven't been taught in this society barriers, perimeters, places we can't go spiritually. Just because you have a mouth doesn't mean you need to use it all the time and spread rumor and innuendo and be in a conversation from hell. Every person will give an account before the Most High. Every word uttered will be before you in judgment. And at that time, you're going to be totally silent. You can't utter a word. Every lie, every rumor, every innuendo, when it was you offended or you feel a certain type of way, so now you feel a need to destroy the work that came before you. Selfish, pugilant, childish, churlish. And another thing why our people are so divisive and divided. None of us, our people, have a problem with righteous authority. Okay? We have a problem. We don't respect each other enough to honor what the Lord is building right before our eyes. And guess what? There's no difference. when Christ was on the scene, when the disciples were on the scene. The greatest battle was from within the nation. There's no respect. Everybody think because they got a computer and a camera and a word and an opinion that it matters. All that matters is Christ's word and his truth and what he built. And when we don't want to fall in line with what's established, we look to tear down inwardly and say it was because of this or because of that. Why are we enslaved? You see why we are enslaved. Let me tell you, if the Most High had men who was prophesied to come in this earth to help free us, we would crucify them. We would smear them. We would hate them. We got an hour and 20 minutes before overtime, so we have a lot to talk about. The spirit of discord. You can jump in anytime you would like, Elder Lawya. I know we have Gabar somewhere around. Elder Gabar, if you call in, I'll bring you in directly through the line. The same thing with you, Elder GOCC. If y'all call me, the 215 number, I'll bring you straight in so you don't have to wait in the queue. Okay, just call my number, the 215 number, or Skype me, and I'll bring you in without the queue. Okay, before I go into our spot. Okay, you have anything else to say, Lawya, before I open up the line?
Yes, just one quick point off the back of what you just said.
Yeah.
It's from Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, Sirach chapter 19, verse 8. It says, whether it be friend or foe, meaning friend or enemy, talk not of other men's lives.
Hold up. Read that again.
Ecclesiasticus 19, verse 8. Whether it be friend or foe,
whether it be someone you agree with or disagree with, whether it be your friend or your so-called enemy or someone you don't agree with, read.
Talk not of other men's lives.
Talk not of other men's lives. A lot of us don't even realize those spiritual parameters the Most High have given us for civility amongst each other. We think that because we get an opinion or a computer or a microphone, we're able to say whatever we want without an account, without being held accountable. Because that's the environment today in social media. Well, we're not going to be able to use social media or Facebook or Google or anything else, Google Play or anything else as an excuse before the Most High or YouTube or whatever. Okay? When people are so-called exposing, they're not exposing anyone but themselves. I'm saying that because look at their works. What are their works? Beyond talking about someone else. Check them out. They only expose themselves so that everyone can look at it and say, okay, I know not to listen to this person. They done missed the mark. Okay. Where's your works? Right? That's why I don't got to spend time talking about anyone else. Okay. My time is spent doing the work. And that's what people will know of teachers and elders. Those that are working in the vineyard regularly and are giving understanding and life. So people that are actually working to help the nation opposed to tearing it down. That's what you want to be recognized for. Getting in. Hold up. Let me bring in Balas. Balas said he have something that he Balas from Las Vegas said he would like to give his testimony based on this. Let me add him in. Okay. Balas, you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You're live on Blog Talk.
All right, bless up, bless Elder, bless elders and brothers and sisters. I just wanted to come on and just share my experience when I first came into the truth. Elder Rawchaa was doing the street preaching, and like the scriptures say, you are now with joy. You want to teach everybody. You want to bring all the camps together. You know, you Superman when that happens, or Superwoman, you know, for some of the sisters. And I the only way I could calm down is, like the scriptures say, you have to be well rooted. And the only way I could really understand what I was doing at that time, you know, I'm about 2 years in, 3 years in, is that I had to gain experience. Now, I wouldn't have to have gained that experience if I was just listening to Elder Rawchaa. It would have just helped a whole lot. But at that time, I was just too excited, and I was all over the place, trying to learn every doctrine, trying to bring all the camps together, and it's not worth it, because the teaching of Christ is in the Gathering of Christ Church. The doctrine of Christ is in the Gathering of Christ Church. And it took me, probably took me about 3 years to realize that this was the strongest doctrine. And I'm saying that because a lot of people are not rooted when it comes, when they first come in, because it's not because they don't, it's just because they don't understand at the time of coming into the truth. They just hear that they the children of Israel, and it's time to teach everybody. And you know, that's as far as myself. When I first came in, man, I was just all over the place. And Elder Rawchaa would call sometimes. I'd get in trouble for stuff, you know, that I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I finally understood that I just had to be under the elders. I had to be, to keep control of my spirit. Everybody got a fire for the Most High, but it has to be tamed. It has to be controlled. So I mean, I don't know how else to put it, but that we got fire. We all got fire. But if we come under subjection, like the scriptures say, that fire will be put together in Christ, and man, we would be that much stronger. But I mean, as for the lessons that I learned, you know, in the beginning stage, you know, besides trying to teach my family, but trying to bring all the camps together, trying to be a teacher of all things, trying to have many hats, you know, you just can't. Just play the best role you can play in Christ with the body. And if you can't do it with the body, then you're not supposed to be doing it. That's what I learned. If I learned anything, that's what I learned, is that when you got a gift and it cannot be exercised amongst the body, don't exercise it.
You have to be patient.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, Balas. I'm going to leave you on. Just mute your mic real quick, and you can chime in a little later during the broadcast. There is a little static in your thing. Yeah. And I wanted to say this, right? And I say this all the time. You may have people who have certain gifts in the world that will be utilized in the truth. But when you come in the truth, you must realize that what you had in the world sometimes must be sacrificed first, so that you can learn to be rooted in the word of Christ for the long haul. Okay? You may have some people that have their aspirations of what they would like to do within the truth, and things might not happen in a timely fashion because they have an idea of what they would like to contribute. But the example I can give, right, is I've been a musician and a singer and a songwriter all my life, right? I put it all down. I said, listen, How can I do this and do the music and do all these other things and bring people together for that while our people lay dormant? Why can't I use a microphone to actually instill in them the spirit of the Most High so that they can learn and have something beyond a song? You know, my name's Spirit of Song, Rawchaa. Do you know how heart-wrenching it was for me to actually go before the Most High and say, listen, I would rather teach than sing. I don't want to pursue the music business. I'll sacrifice what I love to do to help my people see you. But at the end of the day, I didn't come and say, listen, let me get my songs together and let's have a church based on me singing. And let this be, and use that as a tool. Because that ain't what Christ did. I had to lay down what I liked first to learn him, to learn Christ and the word. And I found out by laying it down, I never laid down anything. Once I was rooted, now the little gifts I have growing up in the word, I can utilize with the wisdom the Most High have given me through sacrificing, through laying things down, have the knowledge to now know what to do with the gifts to help our people. But the number one thing, if I never sing a word ever again or sing a song ever again, I want to be known in this earth. When I say I want to be known, I rather the angels, the Most High, and all of them have it be written that I stood with the word of the Most High, opposed to me being recognized for how many songs I sing and how many things I wrote and how I looked on stage and all that idolatry that comes with being seen. Okay, carnally. Sometimes you have to put it down. You have to understand and prioritize and know what's more important. That word, standing in that word and bringing people to the Most High. That's what's more important. Okay? That's what's more important. Now, before I open up the lines, because everyone always come with, well, this is what I can do and what I can do. And I'll be looking right at them like I said, I'm not concerned about what gifts you can bring from the world. Okay? Straight out. Because you have to lay that down. In order to get into the word, you must focus on the word and be immersed in the spirit to be utilized. And then once you are rooted, then whatever gifts you have in due time can be utilized. But what we learned in the world does not define us. We can't bring nothing to the table outside of our vessels. That's it. Okay? You can't come with something and say, well, even if I don't care if P. Diddy came. Okay? Yeah, you know, I got a record company. Okay, get your behind in the water and pick up your book and learn. I don't care about your money. I don't care about what you have. Okay? You can't buy your way into the kingdom. You can't bribe your way into the kingdom of heaven. Okay? You have to be like everyone else, be born again and start from the beginning. Regardless of, you don't get a front seat because you got gifts others you think others don't. Your worldly gain have no influence or power concerning the kingdom of heaven. Okay? I'm going to go to our sponsors in 10 minutes. But before I do that, let me open up the lines real quick. The guest calling number is 515-605-9327. That's the guest call-in. Okay. The guest call-in. Now, all in all, brothers and sisters, I don't expect what we're talking about tonight to change much. Knowing our people, knowing what's going on with our people. You're going to have people that's going to always be agitators and all that. But if this can fall on just one person to examine themselves, or any of us, and how we use our tongue and use our time, if it can help one person, guess what? This broadcast was worth it. Because some of us never learned that there were parameters. Okay? That there were places that we can't go, that we can't, things that we can't say or do as a people. Okay? All right, I'm going to take a few calls and I'm going to go directly to the sponsors real quick. And I may do a little overtime. All right, we got 1 hour before overtime. Let's go down the line. First, starting with the 757 area code. And subsequent to that, we'll go to 618. So get ready. Make sure there's no radio playing in the background, please. The spirit of discord amongst brethren and sisters is what we're talking about this evening. 757 area code. We're going to give you 1 minute each. Okay. Be respectful of your time, knowing that there's many people in the queue. 757 area code. You're live on Blog Talk.
Elder Rawchaa, Shalom, Elder Lawya.
Shalom.
Shalom, Elder Rawchaa. Shalom, Elder Lawya. Shalom, GOCC family. Yes, Elder, another great topic. This is Brother another great lesson and topic. Again, today you touched on a lot of great points. I wanted to piggyback on a couple of things that you spoke on. I think it really starts with first us not knowing who we are. And then, you know, when we don't know who we are, the enemy's allowed to come in, and then he's allowed to plant that seed of self-worship and self-service. And, you know, through that, we're constantly as a people trying to walk around in the street and have this facade of, I demand respect, I need respect. You know, you're looking at me the wrong way, you know, disrespecting me. So, we have this godly self-worship about ourselves where we have to have this certain level of stature over one another as brothers. Pardon me. I think a lot of that is due to what was taken from us, and of course from our curse that I've learned. You know, you can also see a lot of it on social media.
Okay.
To piggyback on what you were saying, you know, the enemy snare with social media is really crazy because you can commit constant sins on social media. And it seems like I grew up in a time where there was no social media, and when I first saw the internet starting, and there was a time where your sins, you could stay in the house or you could stay amongst your boys in your neighborhood, and if you had a couple good dudes you ran with, you guys could play football, play ball, basketball, and you could stay out of a certain level of sin intake and as far as getting involved in. But social media, man, it's like your tongue can just be lashed every which way like a sword. You don't even realize you're sinning doing that with your tongue. You're constantly judging people. You're making yourself an idol. How for people who have money, they post what they have constantly to make others feel as though they're beneath them, or I got to get my money up so I can be like this particular person. It's totally taking us away from Christ and from the Word and understanding of what this purpose of life is really about. So I feel like that social media thing, man, that's one of the greatest tools the enemy's using right now, because like I said, it's like unmeasurable sin up there. You're showing your body off, for the sisters up there and for the brothers up there, and you're seeing men who starting to idolize themselves and worship themselves. When men become lovers of themselves, the scripture says. So, I really think that's a major part of it. Just us trying to be worship as gods, if you will. So that's my time, brother. But thank you so much for the work. And, thank you for the tireless efforts for to all the elders. And, I don't know what I'd do without you brothers, man. Just opening up this work of Christ, man. This has just been huge for me and my life, man. And I'm just very grateful. So thank you, brothers, once again.
Well, brother, thank you. And you put forth some good points. Thank you. You always bring a poignant view. Thank you, brother. I'll place you on hold.
Thank you, Elder.
Very, very, very Good points this brother bring. Real quick, just taking a break within this, I would like to talk about real quick. First of all, on another note, I thank the brothers and sisters. I mean, this academy started last week. It just began last week. Man, it was a big weekend. This Sunday, we went into the creation of the universe like we've never talked about it before. Okay, and it seems as if as we grow closer to the end, the lessons become more profound, greater, and greater detail and understanding. Even it opens our understanding from one academy to the next. So I would like to say we're only in the first week, so we have 3 months of this. If you haven't joined the academy, you need to get in as soon as possible. Just go to historytimes.org. Okay, now historytimes.org, that's with an S, historytimes.org. You can enroll there for the academy. You don't know what you're missing until until you're in it. You're going to realize, well, I should have enrolled a long time ago, and it does help the work. Now, we would like to thank all those that participated in the lesson 1 of our Hebrew and Bible Academy. We had brothers and sisters from all over the world take part, all over the earth, and we received dozens of emails afterwards concerning or telling us about their appreciation for it. And here's a few testimonies that stood out, and these came from the email from those who are participating in the academy first week. Quote unquote, my brain is tingling and my spirit is shouting right now. I've heard your YouTube lessons before, but what I just took part in was more enlightening than I could have imagined. Thank you all for what you do. And of course, all praises be to Ahaya Ba'Hashem Yeshaya wa Rawchaa. Now, that's just one quote, but we have many email I couldn't go through. Can't go through for the sake of time for those who've joined for the first time and just thought it was just a YouTube upload. The academy is way more than that. Now, although the academy has begun, we still, all praises be to the Most High, have seats for enrollment for those who would like to get in. Okay, it's only $50 per month. Please send us an email to gatheringas1@aol.com, or you can go to historytimes.org or gatheringofchrist.org to enroll directly from your computers. Okay, and please note the $50 off that we did for those, that was a promotion for those who've been in more than 3 or more academies. That was a promotion in which you would have to get in before the first week. So that promotion is over, but you can still enroll. Okay, but that promotion was for those who enrolled before it began first week. But you can still get in if you would like. It's only $50 a month, and you'll get way more information in one class than you've received all your life in any church. We guarantee it. Okay. Now, there's other announcements I'll go into in about 15 minutes, but I wanted to put that out there because, man, this week was a great week in the academy, and we have 11 more weeks to go. So, brothers and sisters, if you haven't experienced it, or you have experienced it and think you got it, you need to enroll because things are on the next level. All right. There is Gaja before I bring in the next call. The next call I'm going to be prepared is 618 area code, then the 646 area code. Let me see where Elder Gaja is there. I'm going to call you, Gaja. You don't have to call me. You there?
Shalom, Elder. How you doing?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahaya. Live. Brother just came in live from the islands. Talk to me. You hear the topic?
Yes, sir. Discord amongst brethren. Wow, it's such a deep topic. You know, hello.
I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, such a deep topic, Ella. I mean, I see a lot of, out there. You see a lot of this going on amongst the brethren. We spoke about this a couple of times, where people come in rather than the spirit to build, just come with the spirit of to tear down, to bring down, to pull what is established. Somebody have a problem, rather than dealing with it correctly through channels, people take to social media, people take to all of these other avenues out there, going out there, to bring discord amongst the nation of people. I mean, I don't think some of us realize that we actually building a nation right now. And if we aren't for us, who else is going to be? Who else out there is gonna stand up for us and fight them hard battles and and get and deal with it? Who's gonna do it? So we have to stop looking at this right now as a me or a I. It's us. We're building a nation. You understand me? We have if I come against my brother, right? Who is gonna fight for me? Who's gonna build with me? You understand, man? I mean, I guess we can call it the growing pains. You understand me? The growing pains of building the nation of Israel. But praise the Most High. At the end of this, we win anyway. So it's just time to get. It's just the time it takes to get there.
Hey, brother. Hey, it is growing pains. You understand? But I pray that the Most High would send forth a spirit to have brothers and sisters really respect and understand the times we're in. And at least, even if you don't agree with anything, give respect to brethren who's willing to labor in the vineyard for them, to bring forth this kingdom and to do the things that they don't have the opportunity to do right now. Maybe they want to do it, but there's brothers who've sacrificed their lives to make sure this word go forth. And think about this. When you're in a moment in your feelings, based on what you're saying, whatever it might be, is it counterproductive? All right? Does it help or does it make things worse? You understand? We have to start. If we claim, yeah. Go on.
What you just said right there is paramount. That moment when you're in your feelings, all right, and that's what brothers and sisters, and we have to understand that we might feel a certain way, at a particular point. We might feel a certain way at a particular time. And when time passes, we don't necessarily feel that way. You understand me? You might feel a way today about something, but give it a couple of days, and it might pass. It will go. So sometimes when something has been said or something happened and we upset about it or we don't agree about something, let's take a step back, because maybe at that point in time, for whatever the circumstances is, you can't allow your mouth or based on your feelings to cause you to say things or do things that then becomes irreparable damage towards the body. Take a time out. Just chill for a minute. Have a break. See how you feel in 2 days' time. You understand?
Exactly. Exactly.
And I see it. Like, people getting bent out of shape for nothing. Like, come on, man. Really, in the scope of things, at the end of the day, couldn't we have seen past this? You understand me? And I mean,
exactly.
Is this really, for all the things that we have done and we have been through, coming to this truth, being called by the Most High, come into this body, and you mean to tell me that you're gonna get upset over because someone said this or someone said that, and that's a reason now for us to go off and then starting to sow discord amongst our brethren? Like, come on, man. You understand?
Exactly.
And, it's like you say, it's that moment, you're in your feelings for that moment, and we all experience it. We all been in a state where we feel some sort of a way about something, and So I mean, what is it? What does that mean? When you look at the walk with the disciples and Christ, there was many times when the disciples felt away, or even the Messiah himself felt away, and said some things to them. You understand me? But that never detracted them from what was at hand. You understand?
Exactly.
So I mean, we have to come out of it, and like I said, going back, that we're building a nation of people. Nobody out there, be it government, be it anything from the political aspect, everybody outside of this understanding does not understand what is it that we're saying, what is it that we're doing, and that makes them, against us in some regards. So we only have ourselves. We only have us. You understand me? I only have my elders and the body of people that are around me. How can I then now start to try to break that down? Where am I gonna go? The example I use all the time when I'm speaking, I'm saying, listen, if you're in your house and there's and the stove break, or you have a broken refrigerator, or the door breaks, do you leave the house? Do you go over next door and start to talk? Oh, that house, my house, not good. What do? You fix the house.
Exactly.
This is our house. This is our home.
Exactly.
This is where we live. So if something is busted in it, or something is wrong, I need to fix it. Or if something is going wrong where it needs strength, I need to be that strength. I'm not gonna go, well, boy, Elder Rawchaa should be doing this, or Elder this should be doing that. Or no, I'm gonna say, Elder, listen, I'm here. If you need me, I can do this, or I can get that done. You understand me? So let's build. All right, cool. Or such and such. Do that. You understand me? We're gonna do it like that. I'm not gonna look and then criticize and try to tear down my own house, something that I have labored to build.
Exactly.
You understand me? I mean, and this is the mentality that we have to come out of as a nation of people. You with me? We have to come out of that. We have to start looking at look at what the enemy does. The enemy, they are confederate. They don't care. They're confederate. They're not divided against themselves. A house divided cannot stand. Matthew 12:25. The Messiah tells you. So we have to take that. We have to all right, listen. They are together. There's no divide amongst Lucifer and his kingdom. So we have to be together. We can't be coming here with that spirit of discord. That we're sowing at this, we're murmuring amongst each other. We cannot do it, Israel. We can't. And yeah. And
brother,
one more thing, Ella, just one more thing off topic.
Yes.
Yeah? And I know you know about that the show that we did on the TV in Jamaica, the religious heart talk.
Yes. And I heard the brother just passed, the one that called you on to the television program. Yeah, and that's a deep thing. And
just passed,
and was it suspect circumstances or was he?
I mean, it wasn't sick. It wasn't sick from my knowledge. You understand? It wasn't sick. Yeah, he had a heart attack 2 weeks ago. You with me? Had a heart attack 2 weeks ago. From what the reports came out as he had a heart attack. I actually communicated with him about a week ago. I sent him a message on Sunday that I wanted to come and see him, and by Monday morning we heard that he had passed. You understand?
Yeah.
And
once you get in that hospital,
I just want.
Go on.
Yeah. I wanted to put it out there, Elder, that this brother actually believed in what we were bringing, and he said it to me, on many occasions that this is the truth. You understand? He actually he said it to us, and he said that, listen, this work is gonna go big. It's gonna go big in the region. You with me? And And I just find it, you know, I don't want to put none out there like that, but I just find it very, very, you know, very strange. You understand?
Yeah. I mean, God, I tell you what,
of doing.
Let me tell you, I don't find it strange at all. I mean, first of all, I thank the Most High that He had an opportunity to have a hand in the work, and that He would actually put His, you know, sacrifice to put His platform out there strictly for the truth. But I'll tell you this: I'm sure there was some people in certain areas of media over there in Jamaica who didn't like that platform being utilized for that truth that day. I mean, the Most High allowed you to go through, and the Spirit was resonating. And let me tell you, you probably still getting phone calls from that broadcast. So, but all in all,
yes,
it was
yes.
Yeah.
I get calls every day based on that interview. Every day, a call or a message comes in based from since it's been aired.
All praises to the Most High.
You know, he gave us. We went on it twice, and we were gonna. Me and him we were having talks about doing another sit down for the next season coming up, and we were gonna do another. We were gonna do a public forum as well. You understand me? So, you know, I mean, you know, my condolences to the family of the brother man, and like you said, you know, praise the Most High. He had a hand in getting the word out. And I'm gonna go to the station, the studios tomorrow, beat the Most High's will, and collect a original copy of the show. You with me? The copy of what was aired, and I'm gonna send it to you so you can put it out there on the church's channel, a proper copy with the sound, you know.
Okay, by all means, please, and give his family my condolences. I didn't get a chance to meet him, but all the same, please give my condolences while you're there. Okay.
Will do.
Okay.
And,
all right. So
I won't be able to spend the all the show here with you tonight. So I'm gonna say shalom, and I have another engagement to add to right now. So
all right, the water, brother, do the work, and thank you for chiming in.
All right, man, bless you, man, and have a good evening.
All right, shalom. Good evening. Okay.
Shalom.
Before I go to the next call, let me make one other announcement. Real quick, that was Brother Rawchaa, Elder Rawchaa. There's a GoFundMe that's out there for a brother, an Israelite brother. He's from New York. Of course, he's from one of the old camps, but all the same, he's our brother. It's Magun and Amawana, and it's a medical fund for a brother and sister in this truth. Shalom, family. It is with heavy heart that I am informing you of a recent tragic accident that occurred on Tuesday, December 12th. Magun and his beloved wife, Amawana, were in a serious car accident that left him in critical condition, and her in stable but critical condition as well. They have underwent various surgeries, but he has a grave condition. They both will need extensive care and therapy for the foreseeable future. Family, this is as serious as it gets, and we're asking for the community to pull together and come through for this beautiful couple. If you have ever met the brother and sister, you know exactly what I mean. They have a genuine and caring spirit. The Lions of Israel, AOC, HOI, and IAI, MAC, and various other churches can attest to that. Okay, so in a nutshell, you can go here to the website if you would like to donate. The brother had his leg amputated after the accident. Okay, and his GoFundMe for Magun and Sister Amawana. It's a medical fund. So what we're going to do for the church, I know that I'm going to put in $500 towards his GoFundMe to help this brother and sister. They're still our brothers and sisters in the word. And Elder Gabar gave me this news the other day, and I felt a certain type of way. I mean, my heart goes out to my brothers and sisters. And again, it doesn't matter what group someone's in. They are brothers and sisters, and I'm going to donate $500 towards this. So if you have something to help our brothers and sisters, the brother and sister who are going through a hard time, that's where you need to go. Brother Magun and Amawana, you can type that in the GoFundMe and donate what you can to help the brother and sister. Okay. All right. So let's get back on the topic now real quick. The spirit of discord amongst brethren. Let's talk about it. All right. We have someone from the 618 area code, and we're probably going to do 15-20 minutes of overtime. So, all right. 618 area code.
Shalom, Elder. This is Brother Danny from St. Louis and Brother Dwayne.
How are you? Shalom.
Shalom, Elder. I just got a comment, really. To me, it just calls into question, whether or not a person really actually fears the Most High and concerning His word and judgment concerning such things. And that's really all I had to say. Well,
thank you, brother. Thank you. I appreciate it. And that's what it is. It comes down to, they get the truth and know they're Israel, but do they really fear the Most High? Okay. Do the other brother have anything to say, or he just wanted you to make that comment?
I'm always there every Wednesday. This is Brother Danny. All
right. Thank you.
Louis, keep it going.
Bless you.
The Spirit is running through us all.
Yes.
Well,
thank you, brother, and shalom. I can't wait to meet you all when I'm there. I'll be in St. Louis next year if it be the Lord's will. Come there also. Yeah, let me give you an example of what I've experienced even in the truth, right? Not too long ago, we had to go to Atlanta to try to get something that was going on there where some young men was just running amok or whatever the case is. And we just went there as elders to correct things and get things straight, which they are now. And in the midst of that, a brother asked me, a brother who wasn't privy to anything, but came to me and say, Elder Rawchaa, yeah, I heard that you wanted to correct things down here because I'm giving an example. You wanted to correct things because you asked for $15,000. You asked for $15,000 and no one had the money. And I looked at the brother. I'm like, brother, are you serious? So the first thing I asked him was, where did you hear this at? What? Is this what's being spread amongst people? How can you receive that accusation about an elder? That someone can actually say something like that to you? Right? It cost us twice as much to come down there to do the holy day. To actually do it so that the people can have a place to be. So who spend $30,000 to recoup $15,000 to help the work? And that's just one example. On and on and on and on. I've heard people come and say certain things and ask, where are you hearing this? And they never say where they getting this stuff from. I'm like, how can you receive accusations in someone's absence? How can you not confirm? Do you want to believe what these people are saying? Immediately when I hear inadvertently about a situation, I immediately call that person. Inadvertently, just go and just call and say, well, hold up. Is everything okay? Because I don't even want to think that ill about a person like that. Or if someone is trying to say something about a person in their absence, they all know. I immediately say, well, hold on. Do you have their number? And I bring them in on a three-way. And usually when I say, well, hold up, let me bring them in, and they'd be like, well, hold up. We don't have to do that. Right there, you can discern that this person that you're speaking to is a bold-faced liar. Okay? So it's up to us to be what? To be honorable to the absent. And say, you know what? You ain't going to tell me what you heard because you're smearing someone's name. Okay? What's wrong with our people receiving negative and holding it without confirmation? And I'll be listening to some of the stuff that people are saying, and I'm like, what? What? It blows my mind. And the whole night I was joking with the brother. I'm like, yeah, where that money at? And he started laughing. You know, I'm like, come on, man. We heard things out there that the Gathering of Christ Church was trying to get social security numbers from people in the church. I'm like, what? That have never happened. What? What do we want social security number? We don't want your social security number. Rumors and rumors and rumors and rumors online spreading all over the place. All of them unfounded, uncorroborated. And it usually comes from a person who have ill intent, who's evil at the core and with their own agenda. Okay. Let me go down the line here. Okay. We have someone from the 207 area code. Shalom, you're live on Blog Talk.
Hello.
The spirit of discord
Andrew.
amongst brethren. How people can bold-faced lie and not think that they will not give an account on the day of judgment. Come on.
That's blows my mind. But I was recently reading 12 Patriarchs. I think it's Joseph, one about Joseph. And it convicted me because he was talking about how he did everything to cover his brother's sins because they sold him, as you know, to the Egyptians to be a slave, but he would not talk. He was exhorting us through his words that to not speak about a brother or to not expose their sin. Now, when I was reading that, because at the time I had a loved one who I had an opportunity not to speak badly of. Mm-hmm. And I wish I had that passages in my mind because it's such an admirable thing to do. Is that what Joseph did? He didn't even mention how his brothers sold him to slavery. He was trying to portray his brothers in a positive light, despite the fact, despite the fact they betrayed him. So I just said, wow, man, I wish the Christian church has bringing in these books because there's so much key information in them to help our grow in the spirit. So I just wanted that comment. And also about I want to try to still get baptized. So.
Okay. Don't worry about it, brother. We're setting it up with you, brother. Don't worry about it. What area are you in again?
I'm in the Portland, Maine area, so that's kind of far, but I'm still willing to fellowship, even if it's just once a year.
Okay, so are you willing to go to the California body for the Passover? Or before the Passover?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, one moment. I'm going to give this to Nadar tonight, and he'll call you. I'm glad you reminded me. One moment. Let me get it down. 207 area code, right? Mm-hmm. Let me get your name again. I'm sorry.
My name is Andrew.
Andrew. I got you, Andrew. In Portland. I'm sorry about that. I'm going to make sure you will get a contact no later than this weekend.
Oh,
all right?
It's actually Portland, Maine.
Portland, Maine.
It's not East. It's not. Yeah, Maine. Yeah.
Portland, Maine. So you're here on the East Coast? Oh, okay, Maine. Yeah, that's more so the New York area. Okay. All right, I'll make sure Elder Gabar reach out to you.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
In Maine.
Thank
I got you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Shalom. I'm going to put you on hold. Just hold tight. Okay.
Shalom. Thank you.
You're welcome. One moment.
Elder, I'd like to mention something again.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you know, being just walking in the truth for a very long time, you've experienced a lot more than I have, and you definitely seen a lot more. But a lot of the people that you've seen speak against the things that you have done.
Yeah.
Where do you see them growing, or do you see them just dwindling away? I know you say it a lot, but what is the overall that you've seen brothers and sisters go from that area, just to sowing discord?
Well, what I recognized is usually when it comes to sowing discord, brother, and that is a good question, they never really come with their true intent. They usually come with the intent, I'm just here to help brothers and make sure the church is right and brothers are right. Mm-hmm. Right? But if that was the case, after they was no longer amongst us, and being that they had the higher knowledge to see what was right, you would have thought after they left or wasn't amongst us anymore that they would bring fruit to the Most High. But they end up going backward and not being fruitful at all, not even to themselves, to show you their true intent was in Christ, or they would have continued in Christ. And I'm glad you asked that question, because that's the perfect example. How can you point out something is wrong and know more than elders concerning what's right or wrong? And now there's no one standing in your way to do right, and you become unfruitful with no work at all. So your intent wasn't the body and to bring people together and to actually make sure things was correct, or you would have been doing it in our absence. See, usually, brother, it always comes to nothing.
Yes.
That's what happens, because people are really not showing their true intent, why they really bringing something forth. Maybe it's because they didn't want to be corrected. Maybe they had an agenda that got exposed. They were corrected on it, and we didn't allow them to do their own thing within the work that was before them. Usually it be those little areas there that make people or they were bringing another doctrine but wanted to use our church to privately push it, and we found out. So they was divided the whole time, but they wanted to use the popularity of the church to show they knew something without, bringing anything to us. So they wanted to seek out younger people so that they can be teachers without being teachers under us. Sowing heresy. Yes. And usually when those things are founded, they become enemies of us, even though we did nothing to them.
Nothing.
Just because we wanted to make sure that the doctrine stays sound and the body stays sound. Because we were accountable to the word to make sure it be one Lord, one faith. Listen, you can have an opinion, but if your opinion is against the gospel and the doctrine and you are corrected, what are you going to do? What, we're going to change over everything because you come with an opinion? Mm-hmm. So this is what happens with these younger men or some people who have their own agenda. They get founded, and now they never say what they did. It's about them now trying to help people. And they get a video and they want to expose something.
Yeah.
Right.
And one thing that I have noticed is that, I mean, like I was saying earlier, all the different doctrines, they'll all lead to the doctrine that we have, which is, if it ain't perfection, it's close to it. And when I look at people going to the left or to the right, I see a lot of the times just pride in the heart, pride in the mind, thinking they have, like Yeshaya, I think you read it earlier, like Yeshaya said, that you have to lay down your life. Anything that you think you have, count it as you have not. because it's Yeshaya's anyway. So, I mean, I asked you that question because I look at where the church is today and where it was 10 years ago, 7 years ago, 5 years ago. And it's like we could have been one of these brothers, but we weren't because we stuck with Yeshaya's doctrine. That's why we see the fruit that we see today, because we stuck with Yeshaya's doctrine as opposed to, the things that happen with other brothers and other sisters. The growth won't be there if they're not about Yeshaya.
Exactly. And see, I'm glad you bringing some of that out, brother. And you can go on hold real quick. The whole thing is, again, how can you point anything out when after you have an opportunity to do it yourself, you're worse than you were before you received the truth? You're doing absolutely nothing. And now you're going to blame other people for why you're stagnant and not and unfruitful. It's the church's fault. When the church did nothing to you. This is why our people are under judgment. You understand? No one wants to be accountable for their own actions, even within the so-called us coming together as a nation. Right? Now, I'm going to pull out a few of the commercials in a moment. But before I do that, because I only got a few moments before we go into overtime, let me first go to the next call. The next call is the 415 area code. Then it's 773. Shalom. You're live on Blog Talk. Shalom. You're live on Blog Talk. Okay, let me go to the next call. Okay, if you don't come right on, I'm going to have to go to the next call. 773. I'm going to bring you in, then 352. 773 first, okay? 773 area code. You're live.
How are you?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahaya. Talk to me.
Hi, I'm going to keep it short. I just wanted to make a comment. I think that, like the other brother said, people do not fear the Most High, because if you fear the Lord, you will be on your best behavior when it comes to treating your brothers and sisters kind, when it comes to just being, when it comes to just being a good, genuine person. I always reference back to Hebrews, I think it's the 10th chapter, when the Lord said, if you sin willfully, there will be no more, what is this? It's Hebrews 10. Well, if you sin willfully, there will be no more sacrifice for your sins.
There be no forgiveness of sins, exactly.
You cannot say that you didn't have a sin.
No sacrifice, you're right,
exactly.
For sacrifice.
So you can't say that. Yep, exactly. So if you hear the words of the Lord and he tell you, okay, don't have an evil eye, don't backbite, don't treat your sisters and brothers with kindness, and you still sin willfully after the Lord told you that, obviously you don't fear the Most High, and guess what? It's going to be punishment. It's going to be punishment. So that's all I wanted to say, Elder, and I love your teachings. I tune in to you every Wednesday. As long as you guys are on Blog Talk, I'm on Blog Talk. Kwam Yasharala to all of my Hebrew family, and thanks, Elder, for another beautiful lesson. And I definitely take heed to all of the words that you got free. So, shalom, thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you, sister. Great points. Okay, now before I bring in the next caller, all right, now keep in mind, I've got to make a few announcements real quick. But the topic of discussion for those who are following us on Ustream as well as Blog Talk is the spirit of discord amongst brethren. Doesn't it seem that coming together in respect of the gospel is more talk than action? when we do have an opportunity to come together or bring something forth or do what the Lord told us to do to begin bringing forth our nation and to help us grow, there's infighting and people trying to destroy within who wasn't there to understand what it took to get to this point. You understand? They come in as critics, or they look at it for how they can use it for themselves or to bring their own agendas instead of getting with a program that was set up before them in respect of what the Most High did in this earth with those who did what? Lay the groundwork. There's no respect of elders in this earth or leadership to the point where people can say what they want, not be held accountable, even lie, and think that they won't give account in the day of judgment. No fear of the Most High. Why do we talk against our brethren and continually use God as an excuse, claiming that I just want to make sure things are okay? You are the reason things are not okay. Okay? It's always coming in some, well, I'm really trying to be Christ because Christ is not in there. As if you're not Christ. I mean, as if you're Christ and everyone else is of the devil. Well, I don't really know if things are right or wrong, but just in case, I need to say this just in case so that, you know, I'm saying it so we don't get there. That's another divisive and satanic tool. Saying, well, I'm just the barometer to make sure we stay in line. No, that's the elder's position. Okay. The Bible says, receive not an accusation against two or more, without two or more witnesses against an elder. Right? And keep in mind, if you do bring something and it's get corrected, it's okay. If we don't agree with everything you're bringing forth, that's okay too. That doesn't mean we can't labor in the word according to the Most High. Okay. As long as we agree in the doctrine, that's the key. The other things we can work out. Right? But sometimes, like I said before, we have to suffer wrongfully. And we have to make sure, we have to be patient, that everything is not instant. Right? What can we do to avoid backbiting and ultimately overcome the spirit of divisiveness when receiving the truth? Hold tight. Let me pull this in real quick and then I'll have you answer that question. We're going to bring in 352 area code right after this.
Are you tired of harmful chemicals in your toothpaste, such as sodium lauryl sulfate, tricolsan, fluoride, hydrated silica, sugar, preservatives, and more? Well, Exodus is the #1 company in making herbal tooth powder. This revolutionary herbal gum and tooth powder is the only herbal tooth powder with immediate effect within 3 days. It tightens the gum, whitens the teeth, counteract the side effects of chemotherapy burning in the gum tissue, rid the mouth of canker sores, reduces bleeding in the gum, freshens the breath, and restore the gum tissue to health. Exodus, the #1 company in making herbal tooth powder. ExodusGumPowder.com. For more herbal products, visit us at ExodusGumPowder.com.
I Love to Live Well presents the ebook, The Pure Truth, What to Eat. It has more than 250 scriptures to support the information presented. This study is absolute proof that eating is definitely spiritual. Diane provides eye-opening and jaw-dropping facts for over 50 commonly known foods. She covers the relationship between the spiritual and important topics such as hybrids, genetic diversity, grafting, GMO, plus what male and female has to do with seed. Diane thoroughly explains how people become deceived and how they destroy their health because of science and its philosophy against the Most High. Nutritional profiles and clinical studies, sales and marketing and half-truths. John 8:32 states, "And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." To regain and maintain your health, go to ilovetolivewell.com.
All right. Before I open up to the next caller so that we can resolve this divisiveness, and especially in its proper context when it comes to this truth, understanding that the Most High is going to use men to establish a work in this earth. And none of us can get over that. None of us can circumvent that. That's just the way it is. That we have to learn to operate and respect what the Lord has given us and not take that for granted. All right. But before I go there, let me talk about this one more time. Get your Sunday morning dose. Yes, that's school day for us. Every Sunday, the first day of the week, not Monday. Okay, what do? The Hebrew and Bible Academy. We're in our second week starting this Sunday. You don't want to miss this. Learn the original Hebrew. On the ground news interviews we'll have this quarter from around the world, ancient history and biblical studies. All new updated lessons. You can go to historytimes.org to enroll. You'll receive your welcome packet and also your PDFs and booklets we've put together. Okay, with Islam and Judaism exposed, the judgment of the gods, the creation of the universe. Even though you missed first week, we're going to give you that anyway. The book of Revelations, breaking down prophecy in that. Also the Israelite doctrine, comparing what the doctrines we see today in comparison to the doctrines that Christ was bringing forth when he was on the earth, so that you can make a conscious understanding of what is true and what is not. Okay. With that, let's take some phone calls. Elder Lawya, you have anything else to say before we conclude in our last 15 minutes and bring the rest of the calls in?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, I just wanted to say, just in closing, concerning sowing discord, which also goes, of course, into false accusations and other things that come along with that. Just the next time, for anyone, if it comes across your spirit, if you're offended, if you felt like something is done against you, or whatever the case may be, which leads into sowing discord, just think about the gravity of what comes after feeling offended. For example, the example I always like to use is, going back to the Old Testament, we know that with any situation that was brought out, whether it be an accusation or what have you, with that came a judgment. So if you falsely accuse, or if you accuse someone in the Old Testament, for example, or a rumor was put out there on your behalf saying that someone was a murderer or an adulterer, so on and so forth, that person could potentially be brought before judgment and potentially put to death based on just a false accusation, or, based on someone just being hateful or spiteful due to an offense. So Christ says, as we mentioned multiple times throughout the course of this broadcast, that everything will be brought up and account for account on the day of judgment. Because the same way in the Old Testament, judgment came for based on what came out of your mouth. The same thing will take place on the ultimate day of judgment under Christ, where everything we say, whether it be against friend or foe, will be brought up and account, and we will have to answer for it. So I just wanted to say that in closing before we move into the last callers.
Yeah, and I wanted to put this out there too, and it's also spurring me to go into this topic. I spoke to a brother the other day, an older brother, very, very nice brother, and I spoke to him. He was like, "Elder, I'm so glad you picked up the phone," and we was talking. And he was like, I want to get with the church over there in Dallas. I'm sure. The brother Azan, beautiful brother. We got a great congregation there. He was like, I just want to make sure that everything is right. I want to be baptized, and I want to join the academy to be baptized. And I'm like, what? I'm like, sir, you can be. It was commanded that we be baptized. What made you think, come to find out that there's people putting out there online that in order to be baptized, lying to people because they are against the work of the Gathering of Christ Church, that in order to be baptized, you have to join our academy and pay us money in the academy to be baptized. that's out there. And I'm like, do people know how evil that is? So what they'll do is they'll know that a person genuinely respect the work that they see, because they might mention it in passing on social network. Yeah, I'm really listening to those guys from the Gathering of Christ Church, and man, they really helping my walk and all that. And because someone feel a certain type of way about us, they'll send them a video or tell them, well, yeah, they do drop some truth, but you know that you have to pay to be baptized there. Now imagine saying that to a person who just received the seed through our church and the truth, and feel, you know, some level of what you would say respect for what our teachings have done for them. How that one little thing with that new person can actually waver them. And these people don't even understand the gravity of that. They will just do it because they don't want no one being grounded, you know, within the work. You understand? The last thing I would do, right, if I'm speaking to a brother who respect another elder or work, whatever the case is do and say, well, yeah, I know you following this brother, but do you know he's teach this or do that? No, you know what I'll be like? I'll be like, listen, if that's where you learning from, all due respect, I'm going to respect him. Okay? Right. You go learn under that brother. Whatever you need to see, Christ will show you. But I'm not going to now backbite the brother so that the brother can admire me over that particular person in a personal conversation. You understand? So I'm just putting that out there, right? All right. So before I do anything, let me take a few more calls. Let me see. We have 8 minutes. Okay, we have 8 minutes. I'm going to take calls. You stay tuned on Ustream with us. Stay tuned on Block Talk. The call-in number is 515-605-9327. Keep in mind that if you're listening online, you will lose the broadcast in about 8 minutes. So you can go to Gathering of Christ on Ustream to continue with us in overtime on this timely topic. And I'm so glad we're having these types of topics. So because I want brothers and sisters who are fairly new to run into these particular videos, to know that the majority of things they hear out there through rumor and innuendo, 100% of it is lies. 100% of it. It's someone who's dealing with a personal issue and have not come to the realization of how to resolve their issues righteously, like Christ said, and is using the internet and social media to lash out as a weapon against the truth because of whatever issues they're personally dealing with. And I hope other people will understand that, right? Now, let me go over this real quick. Last but not least, I have to talk about what's going on with the GOCC network when you go to gatheringofchrist.org. Okay. If you go to gatheringofchrist.org, you can support the church and your brothers and sisters who have certain gifts, talents, and businesses so that we can actually support each other eternally. That's a caveat that's given to you through the Gathering of Christ Church by going to Gathering of Christ Church and clicking on the GOCC network. Here's a few of the businesses within the body, brothers and sisters who have businesses that we can support, that you can support, and help yourself in the process. We have Shea and Company Consulting. That's Brother Shapat or Marcus Shea's professional legal advice, international legal advice, mind you. Okay, yes, he is a lawyer. You can actually go to him, and we have someone who can argue our cases internally for us. Okay, we have a book called Recovering from Autism, One Family's Journey of Hope and Healing. We have Desired Promise, natural products including hair butters, body butters, scrubs, and more. We have Bakar Books, which is Hebrew children's books. You have to get that for your children. All right. Exodus, herbal gum and tooth powder. Heavenly Treasure, essential oils, information on healing, well-being, and more. WOS Herbal Health, organic and wild-crafted quality supplements. Above Rubies, homemade hair care, products with moisturizing butters and extracts. And we are pleased to announce to our newest members of the GOCC Business Network. We thank you for coming in. Okay. And that's Rawchaa Naturals, all natural body scrubs, conditioners, soaps, eczema creams, and more. 12 Tribes of Israel apparel, custom-made t-shirts and designs, Virtuous Light, homemade and hand-poured candles made with love, Ahia's Promise Herbals. Okay, that's natural body scrubs, and that's deodorants, creams, oils, and more, instead of getting that toxic metals and all that the corporations are destroying us with. Let's get some natural things to use for ourselves. You can go to GOCC Network and order from your people, from your family. Helped by the Most High, homemade and customized fringes for infants, children, and adults. Atara Adair, custom-made clothing, t-shirts, printings, and alterations for men and women. Amina's Blessed Naturals, fermented probiotic products to help to heal our skin conditions. Okay. Love to Live Well, eliminate sicknesses, 50 foods discussed, 250 scriptures, read the pure truth, what to eat. Great book. Okay. Love is Obedience, one family story portraying the image of love, sacrifice, and obedience to parents. Okay, so here it is. I wanted to get that out of the way. We have 4 more minutes before overtime. And again, go to gatheringofchrist.org and support the GOCC network. You're supporting your nation. Let's not talk about supporting each other. Let's support each other. That's what the GOCC network is all about. And if you would like to be a part of it, if you have gifts, if you have something that you want to get off the ground, the GOCC network is a great start. Send an email to gatheringas1 so that we can support you. Now, let's go down the line here. All right. Let's see. 202 area code. I'm coming to you next. We're talking about the spirit of discord amongst brethren. Shalom.
Shalom.
1 minute. You're live on Blog Talk.
Okay. I just wanted to come in and say thank you. I've been trying to say thank you for a while to you and to Elder Lawya and Brother Rawchaa. The reason why it's so important to me is because I think about all the sacrifices you guys made, and if you hadn't did it, I wouldn't have the knowledge I have now. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Welcome, and your thanks goes a long way. Thank you, sister, and bless you. Okay.
Shalom.
We have someone from the 302 area code. Shalom, Elder Rawchaa, the Gathering of Christ Church. The spirit of discord amongst brethren. Going to the 651 area code. And matter of fact, let me go to 601 area code. They've been holding on for almost an hour. 601 area code. Shalom, you're live on Blog Talk. Shalom.
Yes, sir. Yes, I know I've been noticing, too, we have people that coming to the truth, you knew that's not rooted in the word. They put all their business out there, on social media. And, you have people to inbox them and, say things about you or the work that the church is doing. And, like, for instance, I know I was over in Dallas one time, and I ran into a particular brother, me and my wife, in a cell phone store. And, I took my sons next door to use the bathroom. I come back.
90 seconds.
Guy, he was in there speaking to my wife, trying to tell her she was in sin because of what she had on. Like, she had on some, some pants. They weren't tight enough, but she had on pants because she knew into the truth. So I came back. She was like, well, you can you speak to my husband or whatever. The guy came off, rude, but I kept my composure, and then, I said, I fellowship with the gathering of Christ. Those my teachers, they brought me into the truth, what I was saying.
60 seconds.
And he was like, hell yeah, you know, your elder, you know, he used to have a beard. He had a full beard. You know, he was telling me all this like he personally knew you. And telling me all this, you know, he in sin and all this, he gonna lead you to hell. And I like, okay, you know what, you know, I was hearing him, and he said, yeah, you need to check me out. He gave me a flyer. Said, yeah, I'm having a lesson on Esau today. So went home, and I just looked at the video, and they just out there cursing people in the streets, and just not bearing, you know, not good fruit, you know, and it's evil, you know, and that's what's gonna make this truth out here be evil spoken of, because of brothers like that going out in these streets cursing people out, talking about your head gonna get cut off and all these type of things, you know. And brother, you know, and I just don't, it just don't make any sense, you know. I mean, it does, but I just don't know what to say about it, you know. Everybody debating and having discord over even food now, you know. They debating on Most High never ordained us to eat flesh, or, you know, you bring out scripture after scripture showing that we eat flesh, you know. The more they just, I don't know what to say, brother. It's ridiculous. I mean, you know, in the end days.
Hold on, brother. I don't want to cut you off. I need you to stay on, because you brought the perfect example of no fear of the Most High that's out there amongst those who claim they have the truth. And I'm glad you came. I had no idea you was come on, but you came with an example to exactly what we're talking about in this particular broadcast, right? First of all, someone comes to you and tell you what your wife should have on. That's number one. And don't think, hold up, and don't think they're offending you. Let's deal with it real quick. You have the Pharisees go to Christ and ask, well, why do your disciples eat corn on the Sabbath? Right? Now check this out. The whole deal is, these guys that are coming up about Christ's disciples eating corn on the Sabbath, them eating corn don't have no effect on their salvation. But yet they're going to try to point out something wrong to get the, what you would call, lawful high ground over those who are in Christ. Right? I'm showing you this as an example. First of all, the gall of someone having to come up and try to tell someone what their wife should have on. What are you looking at my wife for? Because if you have looked upon another man's wife, right? Like, what are you looking at her for? Who are you to come to me about what my wife got on and think that that's not an offense, right? But that's not the funny one. That ain't too hilarious. The one about I used to have a full beard. I mean, did he like my beard when it was full? I mean, what's going on there? Elder Lawya. I know Elder Lawya want to chime in. Elder Lawya, come on in with your full beard.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Elder Lawya. Elder, you got your full beard?
Yep, right here on my face.
I mean, let me tell you, that brother is he's probably checking your beard out. You know, you got the full joint. You know, he must like your beard. Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
How long have you known me, sir, young man?
I want to say it's going on maybe almost 10 years almost.
When have you ever seen me with a full beard?
Never in my life.
And guess what? No one else has either. So I'm just showing you the folly that's amongst our nation. So if I had a full beard, would you not curse people out in the street? I mean, that shows you the wisdom, that the lack of wisdom that's going on in amongst our people. Let me tell you, it's fine if how I look is not becoming to you. That's fine. Turn the computer around. darken the TV and follow the scriptures the Most High has given me to show. Stop judging the outward appearance. That's another thing. I'll never look at another man and be like, you know what? I wish his beard was longer. You know, maybe, you know what? I got a little fuzz growing in here, Elder Lawya. Maybe I need to take some olive oil and really shine this thing up for him. What you think?
Maybe so. Maybe that'll help. I guess maybe then afterwards you get baptized.
Yeah, you know, maybe they can just pause my picture on YouTube and be like, see, now that's what I'm talking. Look at that shining thing. You know, it's, you know, now we just needed to hit the floor and I'm really going to be feeling it. All right. Thank you, brother. Let me put you on hold. You know, and I'm laughing just to show the folly that's out there. Okay. And a matter of fact, if you were to just zoom in real quick, if you looking at me on YouTube, zoom in real good. Do a zoom for me. And I need you to count how many grays I have on my beard. I need you to check it out. Hey, man, I remember he had 7 grays that was growing in. Is he using just for men? Is he trying to cover up his gray? There was 7 strings. What's going on there? All right. There it is. Matter of fact, I'm going to hold it up so you can count the gray. You pause it for me real quick so that you'll know if I'm using just for men. Okay? Now, let's go to All right. We have a few more calls. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Elder Gabar is here. Elder Gabar, you there?
It's fun, Elder. How we doing?
I'm blessed by the best. Talk to me.
My car was walking out.
Okay.
Okay, let me just get back in the car.
All right, take your time.
Make sure I got him. Yeah, well, just land backing into the conversation, in these last few days, we were having conversation. I think we're having a meeting with a situation similar to what you're mentioning here, and what I'm noticing is that, the social media, the entertainment, the rap, the singing, what else? Facebook, YouTube has been the tool for people to express themselves. Mm-hmm. And what this world promotes is basically that, if you have a problem with a brother or a sister, the days of, hey, brother, I need to talk to you. Let's sit down. It's pretty much over. It's everybody's just, Satan has given everybody these other tools of communication to express themselves. I didn't like how the elder spoke to me. I like that sister talked to me, how she looked at me. I need to express that. Let me write a song about it. Let me, do a video, 3-part video about it. Back in the days when we didn't have these technologies, these outsourced, we had no choice other to keep it to ourselves or go up to the person and, argue and go back and forth and at the end resolve it and hug it out like we used to do. But today Satan has created these tools to kind of keep this ongoing unresolved issue. And these are the reasons why when you go into and I know earlier you had mentioned about people in regards of, they're doing work with us and things of that nature. And if you want to do with people that are doing the work, it has to be beyond just simply calling yourself a Hebrew. It has to even be beyond you calling on the name of a higher. Matter of fact, if you have brothers out there that are calling on the name of a higher, or sisters, and they're not with the church, that should be even a bigger red flag than somebody calling on another name.
Exactly.
And because while we're not together, so I know it seems kind of weird and even cultish for us to have these discussions, but what people don't understand that Christ was establishing a cult. He was establishing a righteous cult of inner righteousness, of people that of you coming in with our inner circles. You understand the gospel. You understand what we're all about. It's much more than just simply understanding that you're a Hebrew. Because during the time of Christ, everybody understood their Hebrewness, what tribe they're from. They have all the genealogy they had. And clearly, Christ pointed to his disciples when they asked him, your family's outside, seeking to get you. And he said, listen, who's my mother? Who's my brother? Who's my sister? He's pointing to his disciples, those that do the will of my Father. Now, there was a lot of Hebrew Israelites at that time that were not doing the will of the Father.
Mm-hmm. Christ
did not call them my brother, my sister.
Exactly.
So people have to get away from this thing, and I think what it is phenomena, which I understand is the dry bones waking up, and the Hebrew culture is becoming part of the American culture or the American reality. Now we got Israelites being displayed in different movies, and they did a movie on Obama's life and things of that nature when he used to live in New York, and he passed through some Israelites, and there was even a scene that he was having a conversation, and the guy was trying to promote or teach that King James was a black man. You got another movie about some cops and robbers, and there was a scene. So people know that about our culture. It becomes part of the Americana experience.
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking for something else. And we're looking for the same thing that Christ and the apostles were looking for in the first century, which is the elect. And when people get offended with when we set up certain rules, like, the baptism, the marriage, no fornication in the church, you guys get suspended, you got to do this, or we giving brothers counsel, also counsel in regards of how to do certain things, is exactly what the apostle established under Christ when Paul was saying the elders or the powers that be are established by the Most High, and they seek your soul. They protect your soul. So I know it seems weird because it's part of the African American Latino fabric of us being rebels. We're rebel against America. We're rebel against the system. We're rebel against these things of that nature. And then when they see us and we're speaking truth to power, and they're attracted to us because of that. But when they come among the body, they realize that we're about order. We're about righteousness. We're about making sure you're doing everything right and things of that nature. And people are grown people. They're saying, well, I'm a grown man. I'm a grown woman. Why do I have to wait for 3 months before I marry this person and go to the courting process? I know what I'm doing. I know what I want. It becomes like kryptonite to our people because we're not used to having structure. And until we understand that, until we establish a structure that everybody, not the only ones that are yelling and screaming about it and getting upset about it, is the elders, but everybody. And when somebody does the courting process 2 months and 29 days, and they lay with that person without doing that the last day, everybody is looking at the person, brother, you going off. Brother, that's not right. You have a problem with me. You're going against the order of the church here. Because we, not the elders, we are trying to establish righteousness here on earth. And once everybody starts defending that, understand it's not about the elders trying to be tyrannical or trying to be some dictators. But we're doing the job that the disciples were appointed to do. To guide the souls of the people. If we create a rule, we create a standard. It's not because we're jerks. We're going to just want to do something just to show because we could tell people what to do. It's because we are learning from experience. And Elder, you know more than I, that every rule that we establish, because why? all right, we see these problems.
Exactly. So why don't we make an environment where people can actually come amongst the church to actually learn the word of the Most High, opposed to it being a breeding ground, or what you would call, a club. That's what happens in the Christian church. So everyone, of course, you're going to fall for someone that you care about or in the same doctrine, but the initial reason you came was for your soul, not for a man or a woman. So when we put a rule in place to say, well, listen, if you meet them here, give it time to grow, because you don't even know the person's background and you're looking to jump in the bed. Find out about the person first. Know whether or not their family will accept you. What's wrong with it is, if you're going to be together forever, 3 months to trying to figure out each other and to get your families together shouldn't be that big a deal. Give the father that honor. Give the father of that woman that honor, that you're not just going to see her and deal with her. Give him that honor to say, you know what? Like the biblical times, I'm married into your family, and it's going to take time. So I'm going to tell you, a lot of what we experience is because we try to lay rules that allow brothers and sisters to grow spiritually first, that Satan is trying to tear down and go against. And they'd be like, well, who do y'all think y'all are? Right? So, and then we come back and say, and I'm going to let you back in, Gabar. We come back and say, well, listen, well, even if we're out of the loop, according to the Most High, if you're going to deal with someone or marry someone, you're going to have to get approval through their family. That's the Bible. You're not going to see someone like they're in a club and get them privately and think you can do what you want to do with them. And now we're dealing with that perpetual cycle, that comes with us just operating carnally as a nation. You're going to respect that family. Even if they don't have the truth, they're going to come to the truth knowing that we set a standard in respect of them, even though they're not part of our church, that they should be honored. And the parents of that young man and that young woman should be honored, in spite of how much you two are giving googly eyes and loving each other. Okay. You're going to respect family around here first. And we have family that come to the truth because they seen we set that standard of accountability that they should have to their families who are outside of the truth. So a lot of that pushback we get back is because we're setting standards now amongst our church, and most people just want to do what they want to do, or they'll go to a group in which they can just say, well, if I sleep with you, you're married, and they can just fornicate from one girl to the next without any accountability. Okay, that's what most of the pushback is because we have rules to protect our people. You understand? And you know what? Hey, well, let me relay it back to you. Go on.
Yeah, and so to go back to the conversation in regards of this is that, the world's never going to respect us until we respect ourselves in regards of hold our lives to a certain standard. And everybody has an opinion what that standard is. You have an opinion, I have an opinion, that brother, this sister, and things of that nature. But if you're going to be under the leadership or under the eldership of this church, the standard should be set by the elders. Because I believe we're the most qualified because we're living through the issues. We're the ones there are getting the phone calls at 2 o'clock in the morning when somebody's crying because their husband is not getting along with them or what have you, or they rush into something. We're the one they're getting blamed when somebody's in some country somewhere and they went out there without our approval. We're the one. So I think it should be us setting that standard, because ultimately when it's all said and done, we're responsible anyway. Even to, you and I are having a meeting in a situation that people, after the show, that people did something that now we have to correct, and there may be some money that we have to leech out of the church's money to resolve those issues, and something that we was not part of.
Yeah.
So a lot of people don't understand the backdrop, the frustration among the elders that we go through when people go out, do it on their own thing, and regardless whether we told them not to do, regardless whether there is already a principle, a law there, or a rule that we told them they should not do it, they do it anyway. And at the end of the road, we are the one that's getting that plane ticket or sending them that money or setting up that feast because there's another feast, all kinds of matters. We're the one that are setting up. And you're the people that really get a short end of the stick, not only the elders, but also the congregation. Because the congregation, we could be, instead of dealing with these, fires, we're spending the resources and time on issues that, people should get mad at that. It should not be like, oh, the elders are angry or they're upset. What you are, the people have to look at it. You are taking the elders' attention, and they have to address these issues with you. So now, they cannot address issues that I want to be addressed. And I'm a good member. I'm a tithe. I'm paying my tithe offerings. I'm coming every week. I've been trying to talk to the elders for for 2-3 months. But he's so busy because he got to deal with other issues. So everybody has to look, all these
tying us up with mundane issues when there's really things that should be attended to. You're absolutely right. Well, Gabar, let me. Can you just go on? Listen, go ahead in closing because I got to bring in some more phone calls, and you can stay on the line with us as we go through.
Yeah, no, because I could be here. I could be here all day. Let's take these phone calls and because we want to hit the people. So, but you guys get my point. Is this? Yeah. My in closing, folks, defend your church.
Exactly.
And if there's a church you believe in, defend it. If you see something, say something. Separate yourself from people that are bringing discourse. They're not positive in your life. They're negative. Listen, we're not perfect as elders. We do mistakes all the time. I'm very passionate. I'm always yelling about when somebody is coming against this church. I'm the first one to admit that. But everybody should have that passion. And this is not a situation you being worshiping of men or following men. We're part of a movement here. Everybody should support this thing. And if this is a movement that you're going to support, you should go 100%. And that's the clothes or the clutter I'm cut from. If I'm with you, I'm with you. The day I'm not with you, I'm going to step down. I'm going to thank you everything you did for me, and I'm going to step down. But if I'm in this thing, I'm in 100%. And maybe my passion gets the best of me. But that's the energy that people should have in regards to being part of the church. And, the social media, stay away from that. People, when you see something, identify it and just plug it out. Let's remove all the nonsense, the bumper. And once we start doing that, this church is going to be beautiful. It's going to be moving smoothly. We're going to be growing, and we're going to have the right people among us. So I don't want to be getting on their horse and stay here all night, but I hope everybody who's listening to the sound of my voice understand the where I'm coming from. But let's hear the people.
Okay, and I want to say this. One thing I wanted to say this real quick is that, listen, social media is out there, right? And you can use the world without abusing it. Take social media for what it is. Okay. Even if you're going to be out there online, because I would never be one to say, well, don't do this and don't do that, because it's almost like the Jehovah's Witnesses trying to tell people, well, don't do this because you might find out something wrong about our doctrine. Okay. In the privacy of your home, you're going to do what you want to do. But take the internet for what it is, as a grain of salt. You must weigh all things with the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. Even if you're out there, you're not to receive accusations without confirmation. Someone who can sow a seed in you and poison you against people who have done nothing against you, whether it be an elder or other brothers and sisters. You have to be off the rumor mill because that's against the scriptures. There's things you can use the internet for that can actually be productive towards your walk, with your walk, something that is not going to throw a stumbling block in your walk. So the whole thing is, the internet is how you found us. So a lot of you. So altogether, I'm going to say now you must weigh the internet righteously with the law concerning civility and how to operate one amongst each other, and not get drew in to the sinful side of how the internet works. Okay, let me go down the line here. Okay, I'm gonna keep you with me, Elder. 702 area code. Shalom, you're live on Blog Talk. 1 minute, we're going down the line. The spirit of discord amongst brethren.
Shalom, Elder. This is Brother Zariah from the Vegas body.
How you doing, Zariah? Shalom.
Hello. Shalom. Distraction played a big part for me throughout the years because I just wasn't able to grow because I was all over the place. And you can't be all over the place. You know, you have to cut out everything in order to produce fruit. So the one lesson you just came out with was the Bible teaches one doctrine. I mean, that lesson cut me to the core because we're in these last days. You know, going into 2018. I know the new year is in March, but we can't play games no more. We're in the midst of spiritual Egypt and Sodom. Okay, these evil men are letting out all these demons amongst us. We have to have our armor on, you know, and that starts with the word and you know, keeping the commandments. So we just need to really get serious. Everybody's taking this lightly. And myself, I'm just starting to come around now, you know, and it's time to get serious.
Absolutely, brother. That's well said. Thank you, brother. And we're going to help y'all build that in Las Vegas. Just hold tight. We're going to help you. I know Balas and them, you know, he's been holding it down for a long time, but we're going to get that. I mean, we have now the GOCC polo shirts. We're going to be uniformed out there feeding the poor out on the streets. Hey, we got the shirts. We got the fringes with the shirts. I Am Apparel. Man, we're ready to go. So we're going to dress the brothers and sisters up. We're going out there in that all white. And guess what? Let's get it. All right. All right. Thank you, brother.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. That's the whole deal. There's only Christ's doctrine is simple. It's only one doctrine. And I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Knowing you an Israelite is not the truth. Christ is the truth. Okay? He's the way, the truth, the life. No man cometh to the Father but by him. The Most High can raise up stones to be his people. Okay? So don't think that you have Abraham to father. And say that I have Abraham to father, for the Most High can raise up stones to be his people. Quote unquote. This is what Christ said. Okay? Christ is the truth, not you being an Israelite. He revealed the fact that you are an Israelite. Okay? Now you must walk in Christ. There's only one doctrine. Okay? Don't get caught up in the hysteria of just being an Israelite. It can become an hysteria and you'll find yourself off the path believing that you had the truth, but you've been tossed to and fro all over the place. Okay? Beware, be careful. Okay? Let me go down the line. 601 area code. The spirit of discord amongst brethren. You're live on Blog Talk. Let me go to the next one. 651 area code. Shalom, you're live on Blog Talk.
Shalom. Shalom, Elder. This is Brother Kuti from
Minnesota body.
Shalom. How are you?
I'd like to thank the elder for another blessed by the best. It was a good topic. I'm just going straight into the topic. We talked about my experience, coming from.
You got a lot of activity there going on there. You got a lot of doors slamming. What, you trying to get to a good place or what? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's my boys. My boys are out there terrorizing the place, so I'm trying to get to the upstairs.
Okay, I'll wait till you get settled. Then go ahead, get settled in a comfortable place, and let's roll. Let's talk.
I'm ready to roll.
Okay, so, time's yours. Come on.
Coming from wilderness, the way we was raised, respecting our elders around the house or whatever you go, in the street, whatever, and being in the true confinement, coming to the true, and in Babylon, you see, we are disorganized over here. We don't respect our elder, let alone the elder of our church, first of all. So brothers and sisters, they want to do their own things. Like we were talking about social media, I'm on social media, I'm on Facebook, and I see a lot of people talking about how the church get attacked all the time, just because we bringing out the truth, they don't agree with, things we do and stuff like that. So, it's always the man in the mirror. You look up yourself, you wake up and see what are you doing wrong? What can you do right to change it? Are you respecting yourself? You want somebody to respect you, but you don't want to respect your elders. So like I have children, when I have friends over, my brothers will come over, I tell them that's your uncle. I don't tell them that's that person's name. That's how we was raised. We were raised for respect. And I think Israel right now is lack of respect. That's the reason why we in the predicament we in, because we've no respect of ourselves. We're not respecting ourselves, let alone respect in our elders. That's the big issues we having right now. I think that's one of the big issues we having, no respect among Israel. But yeah, that's all I have tonight, elders, and we patiently waiting for y'all to come over here and set up for us.
Okay, brother, we'll be there. We'll be there. Don't worry about it. You're gonna have the announcement sometimes early next year. Don't worry about it. I will be there. We're coming. All right, you get ready. Right.
Shalom.
All right. Shalom. Bless you, brother. And that's another thing. We've been taught as part of our programming not to respect each other. Right? But automatically when massa comes in the room, we're at attention. We don't even realize that's psychological damage. That's psychological warfare. Okay, we've been programmed that the respect cannot come amongst us. Guess what? Even Christ said that a prophet is not known within his own city or town. Right? We can't respect each other on any level. We've been taught that when it comes to spirituality or authority, we're all equals and the white man is master. All right? We don't even understand it, but it shows in our actions. That's when it shows. We don't respect elders amongst each other. But we'll sit there and ask the boss, man, look, I've been working hard for about 7 months. Can I get a raise? I've been shucking that corn. I've been picking that cotton. And don't worry about it. I'll beat him down if you would like. But please, can I get 75 cents an hour more, massa? And you know what? I'll make sure I shuck that corn even harder. And I'll become your taskmaster. What you say? We'll give him the respect because we were programmed to believe that he's a leader. That he's the one. He's the authority. He's the theologian. He's the professor. No. They are fools, all of them. The Bible tells you the wisdom of this world is foolishness with the Most High. We've been taught to reverence fools over prophets and teachers. So again, I don't want to hear no more about anyone blaming a white man for nothing. Because we don't have no problem with white people, okay, amongst this church. And we have all nations within the church operating righteously within the work. Our greatest fight within the work is amongst our own people who are unruly, who are disrespectful. But hey, if this was Kenneth Copeland, you'll all have your books open, wouldn't you? Don't say you wouldn't, because before the truth, you did. Okay, Kenneth Copeland is Creative Flow of Dollars' spiritual daddy. Okay, you have more reference for that, for that demon, for that Jesuit demon, than brothers who the Most High have raised amongst you, who know you, who's like you. That sickness need healing. The Most High said that he would raise brethren from amongst us to show his power, so that no credit will be given to this wicked world and their theologians. So we cannot dishonor the miracle that's amongst us, which is the brotherhood. Okay, the world cannot take credit for this phenomenon called being Israelites and those that are in Christ with the truth. The world didn't show this to us. The Christian church didn't show this to us. It was revealed from on high. And when we disrespect that, we disrespect the God that made us. Okay? Right out. No one in this world, no theologian school, no church, nowhere can take credit for this. 1 West 125th, no matter what it was, Israeli this or Israeli that, no one can take credit for the awakening. Christ said he would awaken us in this time. Christ will lead us to the doctrine. This is Christ's work. Okay, elders, let's let you all get the last word before we bring the few calls in. Starting with Elder Lawya, then Elder Gabar. Afterwards, subsequent to that. You there, Lawya?
Yes, yes, sir. I was saying, what more can be said of such a a timely topic? Again, I can even think of a few situations that we've people have asked questions concerning some of the things that we've discussed tonight, and hopefully those brothers and sisters who have asked those questions are actually on listening tonight. Hopefully it answered a lot of what you may have either had questions concerning or what have you, but nonetheless, again, a very timely topic. All praises to the Most High, and I hope the brothers and sisters who listen tonight receive some edification concerning this topic.
Thank you, Elder Lawya, for your continual commitment, your wisdom, and your time. All right, just stay on hold while I bring in the other elder. What you have to say, Elder Gabar?
Well, Elder, I think you covered all bases. I'm out here just listening to the show. I just want to hear these other, the callers, so we can bring in the callers. I think you covered all the bases.
All right, thank you, brother, and I appreciate you. All right, let me go down the line with the brethren. 352 area code. 813 area code. You've been waiting for a while. Let me bring you in.
I did.
Shalom, the Gathering of Christ Church. You're live. The spirit of discord amongst brethren.
London. It's like on the ground. I believe it was in London.
Hello?
I was looking around it, and I saw this TARDIS, and then I went into it.
Okay. 813. Well, let's get to the next call. 302 area code. I think I tried this number once before. 302 area code. You're live on Blog Talk. The topic, the spirit of discord amongst brethren.
Shalom, Elder.
Shalom, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just listening.
Okay, no, I seen a question mark next to your name, so. All right.
Yeah,
so you have nothing to say, right?
All praises to the Most High.
Well, I guess that's enough. All praises to the Most High. Shalom.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. You're welcome. And you know what? A lot of these conversations are timely conversations, right? Eventually, we'll all be in a wilderness when all these things are said and done. The Most High is now setting up some level of spiritual laws of civility amongst His nation. It doesn't start with us just learning the truth. The Most High is going to have us deal with this real time amongst each other. And it's the respect we have amongst each other that will go into the wilderness with us. And that will be the real judgment amongst Israel. Ain't going to be no white people calling the shots or no other nations. It's going to be us. Where the last judgment in the wilderness when Christ comes will be the rebels. I tell you that in Ezekiel the 20th chapter. So what we're developing, what we're doing now amongst each other is beyond our captivity. It's us learning that at the end of the day, we're going to have to govern each other. As the Most High, through the spirit of prophecy, is tearing down governments throughout the earth. Now, the New World Order is trying to tear down governments to bring in one order. But all in all, the governments we know are being dissipated for a purpose. They're being dismantled for a purpose. We have to learn to govern ourselves, and it starts with respect. Okay? We have to be honorable to the absent. Those that are not amongst us. You have to watch when someone is saying something about someone else, be it elders or otherwise, and they're not around to defend themselves. We have to be careful with that, because that person still belongs to the Most High. Okay? We have to be careful with our loose conversation. Okay? Because eventually, don't forget that 144,000 that the Most High said He would call and bring together at the end of the day. These are the governing body that will judge the world, according to Revelations. They're being set up as ambassadors to judge under Christ. Be careful of whom you're speaking about. Even if you don't understand them, you're better off being silent than to speak against the anointed of the Most High. You're going to find that, guess what? You think it's because you don't like this character or how this person will do that. But that's how the Most High made his anointed for His purpose. You may not like what they do personally, but if they're not sinning against you, be careful not to speak against them. If they're not doing anything against you, because the Most High made them exactly how He wanted them for His will. His teachers, His elect. And it takes a lot of courage to stand for our people in this time. And if you don't respect anything, you must respect the elect and the chosen for their work's sake. Okay? You're going to find you're fighting against the Most High. Unfortunately, for those who feel a certain type of way, He did choose men to do this work, okay? So we have to put our little personal pet peeves and our views of how we feel about certain people to the side and understand there's a higher agenda outside of how we personally view things. It's the Most High's agenda. He's going to set up men before you. He has set up men before you, whether you understand it or not. And these men and these circumstances are actually cultivating these men to be judges under Christ. So don't say we're of Christ or say that I'm down with Christ and I'm doing it because of Christ in one sentence. And then in the next sentence, slander your brother or sister. It doesn't go together. Christ never gave you the autonomy or the power to slander or hurt your own brother or sister. You're fooling yourself and deceiving yourself. If you're not a part of the work, it's best to be silent instead of tearing it down. Even if you don't agree, stay silent. And that's wisdom. Oh, because it don't bow with my spirit. You know, well, my spirit. What spirit? How do you know that the spirit you're dealing with is not of the devil? How do you know you're not being deceived? So this thing, I got to check with my spirit because I'm not, as if your spirit is always correct. Many have deceived themselves. I know Elder Gabar want to say something else, but, it's okay. Anytime you would like, Elder. 352 area code.
Hey, Shalom, Elder.
You're live on Blog Talk.
Shalom, Elder. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Loud and clear.
All right, let's get it. Hey, Barakatham, Elder, all my elders, Elder Rawchaa, Lawya. This, I forget who I am. It's significant. What's crazy is I've been holding this scripture since the beginning, but it's just so much, the conversation went so many different ways, and it's weird. But let me just real quick, let me start with Elder Gabar. Gabar, I 1,000% agree. I mean, it's only been, maybe not even 7 years, but seeing the progress of the church, seeing this, being a first-hand observer of certain situations and why certain things have been put into place, and even seeing my daughter, all praise to the Most High, coming to the truth, and learning to operate under the rules and the regulations that's been set by authority. I mean, it's the Most High brought us to this truth. But let me just go to scriptures first. This is good. This is just touching on something. What I've learned for myself is this: instead of us focusing on the next man or the next woman, it's about internally. It's easy to see the flaws in someone else, but it's harder to focus within ourselves to see what we doing wrong. Instead of us trying to correct an elder, which is wrong, or, try to, without 2 or 3, focus on yourself. Seek out your own soul salvation with fear and trembling. But let's go to, if we can, it's weird because Elder Lawya was in the same book.
Hold up, brother. Hold up, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to give you all your time, but I want to say something for those who might be hearing what you're saying. Let me make it clear, okay? No one out there anywhere is saying that you cannot correct elders. But there's a protocol, according to scriptures, on how to correct elders. And you can't do it through a blog or a YouTube video. I'm corrected all the time. Now, matter of fact, I love correction. Let's make that clear. So I want to put it out there so nobody can think that, okay, we're putting out this thing where it's wrong for elders to be correct. Elders are supposed to be corrected. They're corrected all the time. But you must do it according to the word. Okay, that's the whole deal. You must go to that elder according to the Bible and give that elder double honor for his work's sake, instead of slandering and then coming back and saying, well, oh, my bad, this is what I thought. And now you cannot undo the slander. So correction, any man of wisdom or a student or a pupil, which I consider myself unto the end, a student of the Lord, loves correction. But you're not going to correct me through no YouTube video. It ain't going to happen. I don't listen to that. You're going to correct me like Christ said correct me. You got to follow the rules in Christ for me to hear. And I heard some, real quick, brother. I've heard times where brothers talking about, well, we got to be Christ. But then they was able to circumvent the Christ step and never recognize that they weren't following Christ.
Mm-hmm.
But then want us to hold us accountable, which I don't mind. But I'm like, well, okay, you telling me to be Christ. But brother, you spreading this stuff amongst all these people that when we now found to be false, that can't be undone. What was that? So are we the only ones held to the, be like Christ?
example? Shouldn't you be like Christ too? Well, go ahead, brother.
Word is born, Elder. I mean, 1,000%. I mean, it's only been 7 years for me but I've learned everything. One thing, you gotta, wherever you at, just learn where you at. Don't jump around. It's gonna be, I know it's hard in today's society with all this Ustream and, all the social media. I don't have that. I'm just a YouTube thing. That's the latest I know. But let me just go to scripture. So, Ecclesiasticus 25, from the top. In 3 things I was beautified, and stood up beautiful before higher and men. What's the first thing he said? The unity of brethren. And this is something else. I'm gonna be honest with you. Just seeing it, it's amazing because the truth is, and you know what's crazy? I'm right here in the same book that was given to me years ago when I got baptized in Atlanta. My first 1611, right? You look over and you go to chapter 24, which is in the same book, chapter 24 and verse 32, right? And then it says, I will yet make doctrine to shine as the morning, and I will set forth her light afar off. Look how I look for myself and seeing. I remember looking at you on YouTube and the Lawya, and I see how the truth has progressed, where we at right now. You understand? And the truth is shining as the morning, and it is going. That light is going far. I'm kicking it with gun. I ain't gonna put it out there in Nigeria. I mean, it's just deep. And literally go to 33. I will yet pour out doctrine as prophecy, and leave it to all ages forever. Right now, Elder. Other people are starting to examine. I've heard some brothers say, I never even looked in Enoch, from other, bodies. That's our brothers. It's not about who the word is coming from or through. It's about the truth. It's about Christ. I remember going to New York doing things when I was younger and walking by the same brothers who now, on little mixtapes with us now. That was elders back then. And it's just, I'm just so thankful to be a part of what the Most High, what Christ and the Most High is doing through us. But I'm just, through y'all, because with that, I learned everything through you guys, through my elders. So, to the point that, I lost a lot, but Matthew tell you, Christ tell you, you know what I'm saying? But guess what? It's better to seek out your own soul salvation and put the Most High first. But I'm going to tell you, the doctrine, Elder, is Christ's doctrine, because I never joined nothing in my life, period. I could have been a Mason, I could have been anything, you name it. I never joined nothing, but this truth was so compelling after I proved all things, and so another thing, put my daughter on blast. Yasmin, you just heard it. You heard Elder Gabar. You see that? You see that there's certain things is put in place for a purpose. My daughter now baptized. All praise to the Most High. My firstborn with the body. Okay, I thought I lost it all. Look what the Most High did. You feel me? Court, brother, won the court. The brother talked to me the other day. I put you on a blast too. I had for 500 ounces. Yeah. But anyway, look, I just love you. I love our church. I love our body. And listen, man, let's deal with unity. Instead of focusing on what somebody's doing wrong, what can we do right? Internal reflection instead of external direction. All right? And that's your brother, Karas, Shalom, Barakathon.
Shalom, amen. That's going to be, that's a hard thing to follow right there. This brother was hitting, man, brother, I'm going to put you on hold. But this brother he just threw some spiritual grenades. And all right. So we're coming at the end of our particular discussion, and I want to say that, matter of fact, 202, they've been waiting for a while. Hold on. 202, did we miss you? Just want to make sure I'm not leaving no one out here, so that, you don't get offended and make a YouTube video. Just joking. I could care less to tell you the truth. What's out there? 202 area code. All right. I just want to make sure people don't get deceived from the deceptions. I care more about the people that are learning the truth who may get stumbled. I care more about that than someone just using their computers for folly. With that, I'm going to say shalom. It's been a great topic, and I love these personal discussions which lead to kingdom building. And hopefully what we can take from this is how to actually operate in the spirit of unity and love. And even when we have those moments in our emotions, not to sin. The Bible says, be angry, but sin not. Don't allow Satan a place, and don't let the sun go down on your wrath. That means you go to sleep with something negative in your heart against a brother or a sister, because while you're sleeping, Satan is watering that seed. If you have an issue, the Bible says in the book of Matthew, okay, a matter of fact, let me read it. If you do not do this before the sun go down, I don't care what no one say or tell you, you are now living in Satan's program, and you'll become his tool. Okay? Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, because while you're sleeping, Satan is watering that evil seed or that negative thought. So you must do what? Matthew 18 and 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go to him and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. That means you feel a certain type of way about someone or what they did to you or whatever the case is, and you utter one thing to someone outside of that brother, you're now being ruled by the devil. It doesn't matter whether or not you're right or wrong, because if it was about unity and love and the law, you would give your brother an opportunity to reconcile before slandering him or her. So it doesn't matter what the issue is. You cannot circumvent Christ and say, because I was feeling a certain type of way, I went off and began to slander my own brother or sister. Okay? Those are the rules. Each of us are accountable to this. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath. If you're feeling a certain type of way, don't get on Facebook, don't get on any social media and begin to talk because you're sinning. Okay? What's going on? Verbal pork. Okay? That's what's going on. Verbal satanic swine. You don't want that. Let your words be clean and in the heavens. With that, I'm going to say shalom. That concludes another episode of Blog Talk with the Gathering of Christ Church. And we will soon be on with guests within our Blog Talks going forward. We thank you for your support. And brothers and sisters, we'll soon see Zion. You stay in Christ. And remember, be loyal to those who are absent. Shalom.
Trying to prove who the best. Material things won't bring no stress. If you had to ask, then yes, I'm blessed. Just loving our people. Oh, love is the way we heal our pain. Humble yourself, it'll bring us gain. We gotta come together to cease the rain. Just loving our people. Oh, we gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. Loving our people. Oh, we gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. Loving our people. No more fighting, trying to prove who the best. Material things won't bring no stress. If you had to ask, then yes, I'm blessed. Loving our people. Love is the way we heal our pain. Humble yourself, it'll bring us gain. We gotta come together to cease the rain. Just loving our people. Gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. Loving our people. We gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. We got to love each other better. Loving our people. We gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. We gotta love each other better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We gotta love each other. Yes, we do. We gotta love each other better. Yes, we do.